Good morning. Welcome into 104.5 The Zone. We're happy to have you for the next 3 hours. Adam Sparks will be on the show today, and we'll talk about the latest with the Tennessee Vols. Last night was an awesome night of college basketball in the Jimmy V Classic, and we also have confirmation that not only is the NFL going to keep playing games in Munich, but college football is determined, Lucas, to take things internationally. Me, Robert, and Lucas with you until 1 o'clock. 615-737-1045 is the number. The F&M Bank chat, open for business.
I did not watch a second of basketball last night because I was at Bridgestone Arena. The Nashville Predators might be back. Might be. After knocking off the best team in the league in a penalty shootout last night.
We have seen... Oh, Jesus Christ.
That could not have been louder.
Why was that so loud?
It can only happen
Were
louder.
you worried it was in the studio?
Yes, a little bit.
It was like when that case fell at Toyfield yesterday and Lucas was worried he was shot.
What case?
They got me.
So the Preds were
like
rocking last night.
It's like, no, we're not moving off that. It's like, have you heard his new Friday Fire drop?
Nope.
It's offensive.
Oh, I got to find it. Hold on. Oh, yeah, you were out last Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, I kind of want to save it for Friday. I want to save it for Friday.
Kept doing it to
save
me
it.
over and over, and it's just jarring. It's not something that I like, which of course means it's going to be here for the rest of time.
Multiple moments in this game where it was, okay, yeah, Avs are going to come in here and rout the Preds, who have, improved over these last 6 to 10 games. They've starting to get some good results. The offense has shown up, and the Avs scored a minute in, and you thought, okay, this could be a rout. Then the Preds fought back, and it looked like a barn burner, 2-2 after the first period, scoreless second period. Preds score in the third to go up 3-2. Avs score with 8 seconds remaining. In regulation, it goes to overtime, shootout. Avs goaltender has to leave to be checked for concussion protocol. Preds end up winning in the shootout, and here they are. They've won 5 of their last 7. Still bottom of the Central, but not too many points off the top, which is where the Avs sit as the number 1 team in the league right now. There we go.
Was that better for you?
Nice and
Further
soft.
away. Yeah, well, it's not for me. It's for the people.
So shout out to the Preds
I almost
showing
said a bad word.
some signs of life, and they host the Blues tomorrow night at Bridgestone.
Okay, so does it change anything about the way that the team is constructed?
No, it doesn't change anything about their contract situations that they can't really get out of right now. The fact that the team is aging and that some of the biggest name players that are aging and underperforming on this team are still under contract long term. Good to see Jonathan Marchessault score again last night. But it is good to see them showing signs of life and signs of improvement after a dreadful start to the season.
Listen, we'll take any kind of winning around here locally that we can get because it's been few and far between for either of the main local professional sports teams. Basketball was awesome last night, the Jimmy V Classic. UConn outlasts Florida, 77-73. This UConn kid, Terrace Reed Jr., is an absolute stud, incredibly physical, great post player. He's making life very difficult for Florida. Florida rallied in the second half, and then they just kind of seemed to be out of sync. You may know how to pronounce this guard's name better than I do. Xavier, is it Xavier Lee, the guard for Florida?
It's Xavian.
It could be.
No, it really is. It's Xavian.
It's spelled Xaivian.
Yes, anytime you refer to him in the future or in the past tense, should be
call him X.
It should be Xavian.
Okay, very good. Either way, he's not had a great start to the season. He had one of his best games last night, but still, that Florida just seems out of sync. The SEC is interesting, and I know we haven't gotten into conference play yet in college basketball, or at least in the SEC. Big Ten has started conference play. That's really the only other one that I'm paying attention to right now. Right now, the only undefeated SEC team before conference play begins is Vanderbilt. Now, Vanderbilt's schedule is filled with the likes of, is Western Kentucky a good team right now? They've had good basketball teams. I'm not aware of where they are right now with their program, but they're beating up on Lipscomb and UCF, Eastern Kentucky, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Those are the kind of teams. Vandy won't play a ranked game until January 7th when they host Alabama, who's currently 12th. But right now, there's a lot of SEC teams that seem a bit fraught in college basketball. And we haven't really talked about Tennessee since they dropped a few in the last couple of weeks.
3 in a row.
At this point, and they're off right now until when?
The 16th, they will play Louisville. So
they're off until the 16th?
Yeah, it's a 10-day break from the loss to Illinois at Bridgestone Arena to a game against Louisville coming up next Tuesday to get kind of thrown right back into the fire. That's your last chance at a quality non-conference win. Now, Houston was always going to be the best opportunity for a non-conference win, and you got it. Houston still just has the one loss to Tennessee. That is going to be your marquee win of the season. But the way they crumbled in the second half against Kansas is concerning after being up 12. Going up and losing to Syracuse against the team that you certainly should have defeated and were favored against. And then playing Illinois, who is a good basketball team, right? It was always going to be a hard-fought game. But Tennessee is showing a lot of flaws right now. It's also a team that is still learning to play together. And when you talk about the primary providers of offense on this team, Jacoby Gillespie and Nate Ament, one is a freshman that's probably still a little undersized and getting his feet under him, and neither of them have played together for long periods of time. So there's going to be this gelling process that we've never really had to see or haven't had to see in quite some time in the Barnes era. There's been year over year foundational pieces coming back, bona fide leaders coming back. I don't know who the biggest leader on this team is, but the guys that are coming back aren't exactly the ones that you look to. In terms of Felix Okpara and J.P. Estrella. Cade Phillips is out for the season with the shoulder that he's been battling through, so that was kind of a big hit for one of the few returning players that you felt like you could count on. So they're going to have to figure some stuff out here, and we'll see if Rick Barnes is able to do what John Calipari did for so many years at Kentucky and take those early lumps and grow into the season, and hopefully, for Barnes, have more success in March than Cal did over the last few years of that run.
The other game at the Jimmy V Classic last night, 67-64, BYU over Clemson. Really nice finish for BYU. Game-winning three-pointer. Got the job done. They had a little bit of a not safe for work situation on the post-game interview, or just saying some things on the broadcast that they caught themselves in real time, but let a few cuss words slip out there as they were being interviewed post-game. BYU, a really solid basketball team in the absence of Mark Pope, which is an interesting thing to kind of keep an eye on as we watch the way that Kentucky handles the situation. Kentucky, I don't care about anything the way that I care about this Saturday. Indiana's playing at Kentucky. I wish I could go to Rupp Arena on Saturday. I'm going to be traveling to San Francisco for the Titans and the Niners. But this is a Kentucky team that I feel like is gettable. And my God, it would make my year. It would save my mental health for the entirety of 2026 if I could go or have a basketball team that went to Rupp Arena and won. We'll see. The other news of the morning is that the NFL is going to continue to play games in Munich, expanding their international portfolio. Now, we have talked about the idea of international games and what the relevance actually is at this point in time. It's less offensive to play professional football games, professional sporting events overseas than it is to play college football games. Robert, the news of it's NC State and Virginia playing in Brazil. I think he's having a conversation back there. We'll catch up with Robert.
Dumbest thing in sports is until 11.
Oh, okay.
So we can save that.
We can save that for later. Russell Jones says of Kentucky, gettable. They are awful. Pope's seat is hot. I mean, I guess that's the kind of job it is at Kentucky, where the honeymoon phase for Mark Pope is definitely over. And Kentucky right now, as you're looking at the SEC standings, again, before conference play, but they're 6-4, Kentucky, to start this season. They've played quality teams and lost to quality teams. But I think that the standard there is they should be competing for champions. They gave Mark Pope the grace here. They got better return on investment than they expected. Now they expect to be competing for a championship, and a 6-4 basketball team at the start of the season is reminiscent of early season Cal teams, right? Except this one costs $22 million, and the pressure is on.
Yeah, and they've had a tough schedule, and so has Florida. So these are still teams that I expect to be in contention at the top of the SEC. There's no question some of the favorites in the conference have kind of stumbled out of the blocks here, and conference play starts up in January. I mean, who's been the most impressive team in the SEC through the early part of the year? Taking strength of schedule into account. Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's undefeated.
I mean, they're taking care of business, no question. But
Georgia's 8-1.
Yeah. What's Vandy's best win?
SMU.
Yeah.
SMU's not a bad team, not a good team in the SEC ACC Challenge, but they beat SMU pretty soundly, 88-69 back on December 3rd. That was their last game. So I guess both of these teams have a 10-day layoff.
Well, only undefeated team in the league.
All right. Adam Sparks of the Knoxville News Sentinel will join us. The Vols need a new defensive coordinator. We'll check in on the latest on Rocky Top coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Adam Sparks will join us shortly. We'll find out what the latest thinking on Rocky Top is, specifically regarding the defensive coordinator situation. You saw Ryan Walters being asked questions about his interest in the Tennessee defensive coordinator job, Lucas, and he has said he has had no communications as of 2 hours ago when this piece was published by the Pacific Times or something like that in Washington? The Seattle Times. The Seattle Times.
Your go-to spot for Tennessee Vols news.
For Vols fans, there is no safe place.
This week it is.
They're scouring the country.
Well, Adam Sparks is obviously that, and we'll hear from him in a moment.
We sure will. In the meantime, we can take your calls, 615-737-1045. Gator Mike wants to chime in on some college basketball. What you got, Mike?
Hey, how you doing, fellas? Good to see y'all yesterday. Buck, sorry I didn't get to chat with you. You kind of came in right at the start of the show, so I had to head out, so I didn't get a chance to talk with you. But it was good to see everybody yesterday at the Toys for Field event.
Yeah, great, and we appreciate you coming, Mike. And by the way, for anybody who showed up and donated or donated after the fact to the Salvation Army, thank you very much. It means a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And real quickly, I'll touch on Florida, but Buck, I have to agree with you. Bert's East Carolina pullover, that was like the ugliest purple. Like Grimace's purple that he was dogging is probably the better purple. I mean, East Carolina, you couldn't even get like the matte purple like they have on the helmets. It looks good. So, sorry, Bert. I had to throw it in there.
He's distracted on the phone right now, but I'm sure he'll get back with you afterwards. What do you got on basketball?
Yeah, and Lucas, I got to set you straight a little bit. Florida struggled out the gates, but they've lost by a total of 8 points to number 1, number 3, and number 5, all on the road, not a home game at all. And they just got to get the guards going, right? It is Zayden Lee, not Zavian, so Bert's wrong. It's Zayden Lee and Boogie Flan. They just can't get it together at the same time. Like you were saying, Buck, Zavian had a great night last night, but, the other times he really struggled out of the gate trying to find himself. But we definitely have that was like watching a Final Four game last night. It felt like between those bigs, very physical game. I think Florida still do well. They probably will win the SEC and make a deep run into March. But, man, it's been a great start to the college football year with all these preseason tournaments. college basketball with all these preseason tournaments and stuff. So just wanted to chime in on that, but definitely ready for some SEC play just to see how we stack up going in against that every day, night in and night out.
Thank you for the call. Adam Sparks of the Knoxville News Sentinel is here with us on 104.5 The Zone. At Adam Sparks is where you can follow along. KnoxNews.com is where you go to read all of the work that he and his colleagues are doing. All right, so where are we on the latest reporting around the Tennessee defensive coordinator situation? Why did Tim Banks actually get fired, Adam?
The Vandy game. If I had to put it on one thing.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was there's this false narrative out there that Tim Banks had one good season at Tennessee. It's completely false. 2021 they were bad. 22 they were competitive. 23 they were good. 24 they were very good, and then it dropped off. So the trajectory was they got better each year on defense to the point where they were elite in 2024. But this year it sort of fell off the end of the table, and a lot of the issues that they had on defense over the years all sort of popped up in one season. Now there are reasons that they struggled, the injuries in the secondary especially, but I think the Vandy game was the last straw. I think if Tennessee plays well in the Vandy game, wins the Vandy game, Tim Banks may still be the defensive coordinator. I don't think there was going to be any enormous pressure to get rid of him. And he had 2 years left on his contract. He signed a 3-year deal a year ago. But I think it was just obvious to Josh Heupel after that game that things were not getting better. I think they needed new ideas and a new approach to the personnel. And Josh Heupel's been coaching for a long time, and he can sort of tell where the wind's blowing, and it's not great for him right now. It's not bad. It's just he's at a crossroads, and I think he knew he needed to act now rather than rather than putting this off for another year.
Well, and the season over season drop off is appreciable. I mean, they were averaging just over 16.1 points per game as a defense in 2024. There was the sixth best defense in terms of total defense a year ago, and all of a sudden they're 88th in total defense. They're 92nd in scoring so far this season. And I understand that he can't do anything about injuries, Tim Banks, or even, I mean, the tackling. I don't know what Tim Banks is supposed to do for the amount of missed tackles that Vols defense had this year. But to your point about Josh Heupel understanding kind of the atmosphere around him, for lack of a better term. So you would say that this was primarily a Josh Heupel decision first and foremost, and that there are not external pressures there or even internal pressures there that would at least nudge Josh Heupel in a direction, be like, hey, this guy, you can't lose to Vandy like that. He's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were certainly pressures there. They were, from the fan base. They were, they were from internally in the athletic department, Danny White, but they were so obvious. I mean, I think the lead question after the Vandy game and the way that I asked Josh Heupel was, obviously you have to make changes on defense. How are you going to make those? And you could tell his body language. He knew that question was coming. He knew what that indicated. So he knew. I mean, Josh Heupel has enough capital built up that he's not, Danny White's not sitting him down and saying, you have to make changes. Josh Heupel was going to make the changes he wanted to. So I don't believe the narrative, nor have I seen signs of to say that he was pushed into any decision. I just think this was the one that he was going to make. And, now you can make pretty quick turnarounds. I mean, you have the transfer portal. Things are year to year now. You don't build to things. And there's different ways to approach it. I mean, a year ago, the offense looked broken. And Josh Heupel and his coaches sat down in the offseason and revamped and retooled a lot of things about the offense. This was a different offense schematically than it was a year ago, and it got fixed. They averaged over 40 points a game this year. With a quarterback, they got it the last minute. And so you can make quick turnarounds, and I think he just looked at it and thought, it's disjointed is the word that I would use. The pass rush did not match up with the secondary this year. Every time we would talk to players and say what's wrong on defense, they would say bad communication, and that's not a good sign, especially when you're in like week 12 and guys are saying we're still not communicating well, and then everybody saw the poor tackling. It's just the different parts on defense were not working together.
Adam Sparks, Knox News, with us on The Zone. So it has felt like it is Ryan Walters and everybody else. Adam, the Washington defensive coordinator, worked with Heupel at Missouri, former Illinois DC, former Purdue head coach. Walters himself, according to VolQuest, multiple reports, says he has not spoken with Josh Heupel. Where are you right now? Is it indeed Ryan Walters, and then you get into tier 2 and start to talk about other names?
I don't even know if there is a tier 1 or tier 2. Because I think it's the thing that happens with all of us, especially when it's a coordinator, it's not a head coach. We just say like, well, who's somebody I've heard of, which is why you see, a lot of the hot boards have like former head coaches. Well, I've heard of them. They were a head coach, so they must be a really good defensive coordinator. It's all about fit. It has to be a guy that he's comfortable with. Ryan Walters checked I would say all the preliminary boxes. And yeah, I've heard behind the scenes that they were far down the road with him, but then also he comes out publicly and says, I haven't talked to Tennessee at all. That we both know that can also mean I haven't talked to them, but my agent has talked to their third-party representative, so I take that with a grain of salt. But he's a guy that makes sense for obvious reasons. His connections to Josh Heupel. He's been a very successful defensive coordinator. Back in 22, his Illinois defense allowed like 12 points a game. It was the best defense in the country. So he's an intriguing guy, but I don't know that this is going to be necessarily a win the press conference type hire. It's you got to win over Josh Heupel type hire. And this is different than hiring a coordinator like that would have been like a couple of years ago. Josh Heupel had this albatross for a number of years that you don't want to work for him as a defensive coordinator because your defense is going to be on the field a long time. You're going to be asked to play, 80 snaps, and your numbers are not going to be good because he's going to push the score as high as can be. That's not been the case, I'd say, the last 2 seasons. I mean, I haven't had a press conference with Josh Heupel in the past 2 years when he did not say the term complementary football. And he means it in a few different ways, but one of them is you have to coach to win the game, not coach to score 50. And so I think smart defensive coordinators now look at Josh Heupel in a different way than they did a couple of years ago, which probably means he's going to get a better coordinator than he would have a couple of years ago.
At Adam Sparks is where you can follow him. The KnoxNews.com, of course, is where you can read all things on the Tennessee Vols, whether it be football, basketball, or otherwise. So they will play Illinois in the Music City Bowl. At this point, what kind of attrition are we expecting? I understand there's quite some time between now and the bowl game, but are there any players that you would outright rule out today from participating in that game?
Yeah, I've got like 8 guys right now listed on my players to watch as potential opt-outs. I'd set the over-under at probably about 2.5 of those. Chris Brazzell he'll be an early round pick, a wide receiver. He's maybe like around a second round pick. He's a guy that I'm watching. Joshua Josephs is an early round pick. And Brazzell hadn't said he's going to go into the draft, but we just assume that he is. He's got a year left. Joshua Josephs is going to go into the draft. He's out of eligibility. That's been sort of a coin flip in different years of guys sitting out, where at Joseph's position, Byron Young played in I think it was the Orange Bowl a few years ago, and that helped him quite a bit. And he's a star in the NFL now. So, you have to decide what's best for each guy, and it depends on the advice that they get. Colton Hood is an interesting one because I've seen him in mock drafts as a late first-round pick. He's got 2 years of eligibility left. Does he make his decision now? And if so, does he play the bowl game? Jalen McMurray is not a guy that people would necessarily think is an opt-out candidate, but he's the only guy so far that's got an invite to an All-Star game. He's got an invite to the Senior Bowl, and that one's a little different than other just draftable guys. The Senior Bowl is January 31st, and of course, what matters at the Senior Bowl are the practices in the week leading up to that. You can make or break your draft stock in those practices, and so Jalen McMurray is healthy as far as I know, but that's always something to consider because if you have any injury at all in a bowl game, it could mess up your one and only shot at impressing NFL scouts in the Senior Bowl. And the fact that it's such an early date, you have to consider a guy like him too. Arion Carter is a guy who has an NFL decision to make. He had I think it was double turf toe at the end of the year, and so you want to be healthy for the draft workouts if he is going to go into those. And so I'm going to keep an eye on him too. And he's an interesting one too because he's from Smyrna, so he'd be playing in the Music City Bowl in his backyard. But his injury status, I think makes him a little bit of a coin flip.
Adam, we're a week removed from National Signing Day, and we're getting questions about this on the YouTube chat, and people have been talking about it throughout the course of the week. It was kind of one of the biggest stories of signing day across the country. The Legend Bay saga, who was committed to Tennessee, flipped to Ohio State, signed with Tennessee, all of this stuff about his family wanting to sign with Tennessee, but he actually wanted to sign with Ohio State. Are you able to separate any fact from fiction on this as much as you possibly can around a 17, 18-year-old?
I mean, this is a weird one. We would get these for years of guys where you knew the parents wanted one thing, the kid wanted the other. It's just now there's NIL involved in the transfer portal and all those sort of things. I believe at least part of the reporting around that. I don't think it was made up. I do think there was a disagreement between Ohio State and Tennessee. Now, that's not to say that Legend Bay doesn't like Tennessee. He likes Tennessee a lot. He likes Kelsey Pope a lot. I think it's fair to say he did prefer to go to Ohio State. You can see all the stuff that was going on at his signing day ceremony to deduce that. He's still in the class. There's been communication between him and Tennessee. He has not said he wants out, to my knowledge. That you can take that for what it's worth. He has not turned 18 years old yet, so it wouldn't be his decision anyway. They're monitoring it. They're in communication with him. I mean, the press conference on signing day was about 15 minutes late, Josh Heupel's press conference. And my understanding is that that's because he was on the phone with Legend Bay. They held off the press conference because he had called in, he was signing, and everything that I've been told was Legend Bay on the phone was, hey, I can't wait to get to Knoxville. I'm so happy I'm a Tennessee Vol. This is going to be awesome. And so maybe Legend Bay is just a phenomenal actor. I don't know. Or maybe he just said what he needed to say. But there's so much smoke around this and so much I've heard from background. I think there's a better chance he's not at Tennessee next season than he is. But until he makes that decision, we'll just have to wait and see.
What intrigues you most about this Illinois matchup?
The quarterbacks. I mean, Luke Altmaier was pretty close to being Tennessee's quarterback this year. There was about 10 guys that Tennessee looked at to try to allegedly lure into the portal. And he was at the top of the list. And so he could have been the quarterback at Tennessee this year instead of Joey Aguilar. He's a really good quarterback. He's an NFL prospect. Obviously, Joey Aguilar has thrown for 1 million yards this year. The 2021 Music City Bowl was, I think Purdue beat Tennessee. I think it was like 49-45. If you remember, the two teams combined for almost, I think it was 1,500 yards. It's like each of them had over 700 yards. That's the kind of game that I kind of expect in this one. And I guess that's good for entertainment value for the Music City Bowl. That I expect this one to be like 40-something to 40-something and just a whole lot of offense. And that's sort of what I'm looking forward to.
At this point in time, with Joey Aguilar, a plaintiff on the Diego Pavia lawsuit, Merklinger and McIntyre still, as of now, in the room, Faison Brandon coming in, who would you say on December 10th, 2025, is the most likely person to be the starting quarterback for Tennessee in 2026?
Somebody who will enter the portal on January 2nd, I think, is the most likely. I think at this point, at one point, I thought they were maybe going to roll with McIntyre and Brandon. I just don't think with the schedule that they have next year, the unknowns around McIntyre and obviously Brandon coming in. I think they're going to have to get they're going to have to get another quarterback, and I think they're going to have to go get a starter. There's only so long you can wait for the Joey Aguilar, Diego Pavia court case. They're monitoring it. They're waiting, but each day that goes by, I think more and more they're looking at the very real possibility that they'll need to add a quarterback in the portal, and they can't wait. If you get all the way to Nashville and you still don't know about Joey Aguilar, you for sure have to sort of turn the page because the portal opens not long after that. So I think there's a few options. They're going to have to add somebody because they only have 2 quarterbacks on scholarship if Joey didn't come back. And I think the most likely scenario is that they go and get a high-profile quarterback who's going to be hopping in the portal.
He's Adam Sparks. At Adam Sparks is where you follow him for all the latest Vols news. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate it.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
This Legend Bay thing. So let me make sure I got the timeline right. He's committed to Tennessee from the summer to November.
Pretty much.
He flips to Ohio State after he visits Columbus. On the first day of the early signing period, he flips back to Tennessee. But right now...
signs with Tennessee.
With Tennessee.
Pen to paper.
Okay, so he's signed. He's a part of the class like Adam just said.
Which, before you go on, didn't feel that stunning in the moment because what happened literally the morning of National Signing Day, Brian Hartline, the wide receivers coach at Ohio State, took the head coaching job at USF.
Right.
So it wasn't crazy to think that a player that likely would be playing receiver at Ohio State would think to go elsewhere when the receiver guru departs for a head coaching opportunity.
Well, and then the further complication, and there's always some element of this, right? But there was reporting out there, and I don't know how credible it was, but there was some tweets and then deleted tweets from Legend Bay's account saying that he preferred to sign with Ohio State, but that his mother wouldn't sign off on the decision to go to Ohio State, instead preferring Tennessee.
Which she has to because he is still 17.
Right.
Like I'm pretty sure he turns 18.
I remember you being in here on National Signing Day, fist pumping that you got Legend Bay.
It's the best class of the Heupel era. Top 10 class. Looked like it was knocking on the door to be in the top 5, but it's top 3 in the SEC, and he's a big part of that. He's a dynamic player, fast, an athlete that you can move around on offense in a bunch of different ways. Plays quarterback at high school, in the high school level, but likely going to be a receiver. But yes, and I'm pretty sure he turns 18 in like a few weeks.
So this is very dramatic.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's honestly, kind of brings me back a little bit. Like, I miss signing day stories like this. Signing day has gotten so boring and sanitized. I miss this stuff. I miss Landon Collins putting on an Alabama hat while his LSU fan mother in the background is rolling her eyes and so visibly furious. Like, I love that stuff. And we've gotten away from it. So, yes, some drama is always good, but nobody seems to know what's true and what isn't with all of this stuff. Like, Ohio State people think that his parents are holding him at gunpoint and forcing him to go to Tennessee, and Tennessee fans, are on the complete opposite side of that and saying, no, he always wanted to go to Tennessee.
You fools.
Yeah. It's somewhere in the middle.
I can't think of two worse fan bases to be in the middle of than Ohio State, Tennessee right now.
But OG says, Mama, no, I don't want to go to Tennessee. But it doesn't feel like it's a situation.
Acting like that 17-year-old doesn't have a deeper voice than you probably is crazy.
It feels like something that if a few months down the road, it's like, oh, Legend Bay is hitting the portal, I won't be too surprised. Like, when it starts like this, doubtful it's going to end in 3 to 4 years of Legend Bay just being committed and, consistent with the University of Tennessee.
So Lucas is rooting for family strife on National Signing Day, just for his personal entertainment alone. You have observations?
I sure do.
SEC observations are next. That's you.
We've got matchups. College football playoff matchups.
What are you doing?
Bowl game matchups. Have you ever heard of a pregnant pause? Or do you just rush everything? Yeah, I think you do. College football playoff bracket obviously has dropped.
What's on his screen? What's on his phone? He should have to have his phone screen mirrored back there so we know what he's doing, like a 5-year-old at any given point.
He's got scores and matchups pulled up in front of him.
Analytics.
Not lunch.
I've got pie charts.
Not recipes for carbonara.
Well, that's just a pie, buddy.
I've got line graphs.
Line graphs.
X and Z and such.
Those are just spaghetti noodles in different letters.
So we've got rematches. That was the biggest takeaway as it pertains to teams in the SEC.
Before I forget, you need to show me how to do spaghetti squash properly because I have a spaghetti squash at home that I'm thinking about tackling.
Never been a big squash guy.
Yeah, but I'm trying not to eat pasta.
Well, that's foolish.
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy. That's like calling him a slur. Yeah, I'm not trying to eat pasta anymore.
Yeah, you got the wrong guy, man. You're gonna have to take that up with someone else. You're buying the wrong kind of pasta, man. All pasta is flour, egg, and water. That's what it is.
I'm not buying the wrong kind of pasta.
No,
I buy gluten-free pasta.
Well, that's even worse. All right, Alabama goes to Norman to play Oklahoma. What do you think the spread is?
Alabama at Norman. Alabama
who lost at home to OU.
Right. Alabama by 2.
1.5. Alabama 1.5 point favorites in that rematch.
Okay, because there's
Memorial
nothing
Stadium.
about Oklahoma that's convincing here lately. Like the wins that they have are their best thing, but I don't know how you watch them since the Tennessee game and not think that they peaked. Or I guess since the Alabama game.
And even then they kind of eked their way to victory. To their credit, I mean, they forced Ty Simpson into mistakes. They took advantage of those mistakes, and they weren't inspiring either in the regular season finale against LSU. They had to kind of survive that game to not have a devastating loss to knock them out of the playoff. Alabama, though, has had a big regression over the back half of the season. They are 1.5 point favorites. A&M, what do you think the spread is at home against Miami in the first round?
I'm going to say 5.5.
3.5. Texas A&M, 3.5 point favorites.
How do you feel about Miami?
I haven't watched a Miami game.
Because I think they're the best. They're one of the best 12 teams in football. I've seen, what was the last Miami game I watched? Not Louisville, but there was.
I haven't watched since they lost to SMU. A game that they blew against SMU. That's the last time I saw Miami.
I watched the Pitt game.
Yeah.
I watched the Pitt game.
I think Texas A&M is going to handle business against Miami.
But I'm not convinced on Texas A&M either.
I'm convinced by that defense. Marcel Reed, while he can be spotty, has been just ultra productive, and I'm convinced by that defense forcing Carson Beck into some critical mistakes, which haven't been as consistent as last year, but they have popped up in some pretty bad moments for Miami. So, Ole Miss, 17.5 point favorites against Tulane, rematch as well. They played Tulane earlier this season, blew them out. Also played them 2 seasons ago in a game that was close for a while, and Ole Miss pulled away in New Orleans. Those are your SEC-involved playoff matchups. Of course, Georgia awaits the winner between Ole Miss and Tulane. But those are going to be talked about ad nauseum over the course of weeks. What I care about are the important games. I care about the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl between an 8-4 Missouri and a 10-3 UVA that's coming off a loss in the ACC Championship. I care about the Kinder's Texas Bowl as Houston, a ranked Houston team, hosts LSU, who is obviously operating still with an interim head coach. I care about the ReliaQuest Bowl and Vanderbilt's chance to win 11 games against a ranked Iowa team. That will certainly make life difficult, you would imagine, for Diego Pavia and that offense that has been red hot. And the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, who can forget? Michigan and Texas, certainly the most marquee matchup as far as brand names are concerned outside of the college football playoff happening in Orlando. And I care about, as always, the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Who will get dunked? Robert, remind me the name of the head coach at Wake Forest that replaced, the former Dave Clawson.
It is Jake Dickert.
Who will, former Texas State head coach, if I'm not mistaken. Who will get the Mayo bath? Will it be Jake Dickert of 8-4 Wake Forest? Or will it be Jeff Lebby of Mississippi State, who is 5-7 and is getting a bowl invite because there's not enough teams and everybody's turning down bowl invites. 5-7 teams that are turning them down. Teams that have fired their head coach or had some sort of change at head coach, turning them down, like an 8-4 Iowa State that just had Matt Campbell poached by Penn State. But Mississippi State, 2.5-point favorites against Robert's beloved Demon Deacons.
Are they your beloved Demon Deacons?
He just represents everybody in the ACC.
Well, they're technically my hometown college team.
Yeah.
I'm from Winston-Salem. Wake Forest is in Winston-Salem. I almost went to Wake Forest.
Oh, big academic institution.
Well, my mom worked for Wake Forest, so you get like an incredible discount.
Now, famously, don't you have which is the lower number, ACT or SAT? Easy for me to say. ACT is the one that's like out of 36 or whatever?
Yes.
ACT is out of 36.
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that what I said?
SAT is the big number.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Don't you have the highest ACT score of the three of us?
That is correct. A perfect 36.
Because I thought about
you did not get a perfect 36.
I'm a maestro, dude. What do you mean?
I thought about denigrating your intelligence, and then I remembered that had come up at some point.
No. I need proof that you got a perfect score.
No, I didn't
You
get a
definitely
perfect
didn't get a
36.
36,
What
dummy.
did you get?
I think it was like a 29, a 30, whatever it was.
I had a 31.
It was higher than that.
Nobody
dude.
believes that.
I had a 31.
Yeah.
But you can't even say
No, I
words
remember this.
correctly.
I remember this. Didn't you both have a 28 and I had a 30? Isn't that what it was?
No, I had a 31
No, you didn't.
You didn't have a 31.
because I had a perfect 36 in the English section, but I had a 25 in the math section, and that dragged me down.
Which, if you've listened to this show for any extended period of
checks
time,
out.
you would know that math, not our strong suit.
Tennessee also super scores. Some schools do that where they'll take your best score from every category and
and
average
piece
it out.
them together
Correct.
and make some kind.
That's
Correct.
cheating.
You're
Yeah.
damn right. That's how it went down.
That's an academic abomination.
Go look at my transcript. That's what it
I
says.
was pretty happy with a 28. I thought a 28 was, above average, and then Robert came in here with his 29 and made me feel less.
I had to scratch and claw just to get some sort of out-of-state scholarship.
Yeah, Buck and I didn't get the luxury of having a super score, whatever the hell that is.
So Arkansas, Auburn, South Carolina, Florida, and Kentucky are not bowling. Mississippi State, although not technically being bowl eligible, is bowling because there's not enough teams for the bowl games. What's the most interesting bowl game outside of the local ties, Vandy, Iowa, Tennessee, Illinois? What are we most intrigued by? Michigan, Texas?
Pop-Tart.
Well, that's just for entertainment purposes. And that's probably the way that we should do this, right? Because we don't know what the opt-out situation is going to look like. But Michigan, Texas is the answer. Although Clemson, Penn State's kind of a weirdo one. I don't know what that's going to look like. Like, James Franklin's not going to coach the bowl game, right? Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
The new coach is not going to coach the bowl game.
Matt Campbell? No. That has happened before. Sometimes you see coaches take over, but no. That'll be Terry Smith, who I think is expected to be retained on Matt Campbell's staff at Penn State.
Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah, Clemson, Penn State. Certainly the disappointment bowl. That is the disappointment bowl for two teams that had championship aspirations, two quarterbacks that had number one overall pick aspirations. Drew Aller obviously is injured. His college career is over.
Now, what Robert said, Robert is saying the Pop-Tarts Bowl because there are, 6 different Pop-Tarts this year, living Pop-Tarts that will be eaten and sacrificed to the toaster gods at the end of the bowl game?
Well, we have to figure out which Pop-Tart will be sacrificed to the toaster gods and get to be eaten by the winning team.
So it's like Survivor.
Kinda.
Now, the football, though, is Georgia Tech and BYU. Like, that's not a bad game, assuming that you get most of your pieces and parts at this point in time. Is Bear Bachmeier a true freshman? Is that right?
Yeah, the BYU quarterback wearing 47, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yeah, because he had to start because old dude that had sex had to admit that he had sex and got kicked out of BYU and then went to Tulane.
Jake Retzlaff,
So,
who will be in the playoff.
I think you could say...
So it turns out sex playoff.
Well, because BYU has such strict moral laws and kicked this quarterback off, maybe they beat Texas Tech. Maybe they get into the playoffs. Maybe if they don't start a true freshman quarterback for the first time since Nom.
Maybe they should change all of their beliefs.
I think so. I think winning cures all, even premaritals.
What do we have to win for the dumbest thing in sports this week? Coming up next, I think it's a banger of a prize, isn't it?
Potentially the best prize, at least in my opinion, we have ever given away on this show. Tickets to go see Jerry Seinfeld next year in Franklin at the First Bank Amphitheater.
Oh, that is a banger of a prize.
As soon as I got on and I was like, I wonder what the prize is today. 2 tickets to go see an evening with Jerry Seinfeld, one of the most prolific comedians of all time. I will be begging for tickets to this.
100%.
From the powers that be?
Yes, it is May 8th. What do you think that is? Who's good enough at math to tell us what May 8th, 2026 is?
What do you mean what it is? Like what day of the week?
Yes, if it is a Wednesday.
Put my little mental calculator. Beep, boop, beep, boop. Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Is it really?
He's just guessing. Also, somebody in the chat says, I want Levis to be the color commentator for the Mayo Bowl. Or like have him be the sideline reporter for the Mayo Bowl.
I've changed my answer to Friday.
Oh, it's a Friday? Oh, dude, we definitely got to go. We definitely got to go.
Look at that. 615-737-1045. That's how you get your chance to win tickets to an evening with Jerry Seinfeld. If you call in and you tell us the dumbest thing in sports this week, next. Nothing worse during the holiday season, especially when you're hosting friends and family, than a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost, or if it'll get fixed correctly, or if someone is just trying to sell you something. That's when you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Their experts are going to solve your problems quickly. The price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. There's no hidden fees or surprises on your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and is family-owned and operated. The techs are professional, experienced, and trustworthy. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time. No more wasting time waiting around. 100% satisfaction guarantee of happy you'll be or the service is free. That's the Happy Hiller promise. So book online today at happyhiller.com.
11:02, good morning from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. It is official. Phillip Rivers has come out of retirement to sign with the Colts practice squad at the age of 44. Rivers has not played since his last season with the Colts in 2020. Meanwhile, the Titans are headed to San Francisco this weekend to face the 49ers. They will hit the practice field today. Cam Ward scheduled to meet with the media at 1:45. The Nashville Predators won in a penalty shootout over the Colorado Avalanche on Tuesday after regulation was tied at 3. Preds have won 5 of the last 7. They host the Blues tomorrow. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Six 615-737-1045 is the number. What's the dumbest thing in sports this week? Robert, what do they win?
And say it in a Seinfeld voice.
Okay. Can you?
I don't know.
Why don't we make Lucas do it? Lucas just throws all these impressions that he wants out of you.
What's
on
the
a
deal
whim.
with everybody wanting an evening with Seinfeld? No one wants a breakfast with me?
No, you're doing Cosby.
Yeah.
No, Cosby would
reversed
be
to
more
Cosby.
like this. Come down and have an evening with
No,
me. We'll
it's-
take a nice little nap. You know, that would be
It's the
Cosby.
dumbest thing in sports this week. What's the deal with these football games in South America?
What?
What's the deal with college football games in Brazil? What's the deal with Notre Dame?
Are you just going to do everybody's dumbest thing in sports off the top?
Yeah, sorry.
See, he wanted an impression from you, then criticized your impression not being good enough.
I did not criticize anything. You did. Accountability, not a strength.
Famously. All right. The dumbest thing in sports this week is my buddy Will Bowling. So, in the world of media, if you're on a team plane, if you're a team employee, you're not supposed to say what happens on the team plane. And Will, I guess, let an anecdote go earlier this week about what happened on the team plane with Arden Key and the intercom and Cam Ward and all these things. And it's not like a cardinal sin for fans because fans just want to know more. But there is something to that information being embargoed. Now, I'm not like, I'm not going to kill Will and say that, this is the most egregious thing in the history of the universe or anything like that. But just on principle, it's something that makes just media's jobs harder because they don't discern between who's a team employee, who's not, who's on the team plane, who's not, and I really hated to see that. And I talked to Will about it before, and, understandably, he knows that he made a mistake, and Will is going to be super accountable about it, and I'm certain that it will never happen again. But it was my dumbest thing in sports this week.
I am going to go with Notre Dame. I want to keep it on that thread. And we played Pete Bavacqua's comments yesterday, the Notre Dame athletic director going after the ACC. How dare the ACC try and campaign for ACC teams to get in at Notre Dame's expense? It's absurd. It's ridiculous. And the pearl clutching from Notre Dame folks. There is an insider named Bruce, I don't know if it's Strahan or Strahan. It is Strawn, maybe, Bruce Strawn, Notre Dame insider, covering all Irish athletics that put this out, a screenshot of schools that have opted out of a bowl game. They include Florida State, Auburn, Iowa State, Kansas, UCF, Baylor, Rutgers, Temple. He says, any of the ESPN pundits and others want to talk about all these other teams for opting out of bowl games? No? Yeah, I thought so. The hypocrisy is disgusting. But what's the difference? All of those other teams either went 5-7, which is not technically bowl eligible, or had a coaching change and are going into an offseason trying to figure out where they're going to go with the direction of their program. They are not 10-2 Notre Dame, who was left out of the playoff and would have gotten a premier bowl game. And so congratulations to comparing yourself to a bunch of 5-7 teams that had dreadful seasons. I'm glad you consider yourself to be in that cluster, and you want the same amount of criticism to go towards poor Iowa State that just had Matt Campbell leave after an incredible run, the best run in school history.
And who, by the way, their athletic director could not be more gracious about the entire situation.
Well, yeah, I mean, he can't.
I mean, you can.
Nah, no. If you're Iowa State, you're thankful you had Matt Campbell as long as you did. This isn't an Ole Miss LSU situation. Iowa State has been one of the worst programs in college football for its entire existence. And Matt Campbell's been on these hot boards year over year over year over year. It was always going to happen. You kind of always had to handle it graciously, but still deserves credit for doing so. Anyway, Notre Dame, the whole conversation around it, the folks in South Bend that feel the entitlement they feel is my dumbest thing in sports this week.
Robert is fielding phone calls.
No, I ain't either, but it really doesn't matter what my dumbest thing in sports is because, Lucas, I thought we were closer than this.
I barely even referenced it.
I thought we were closer than this.
Nobody listens to what I say.
Rip it out from underneath me. But I don't know if you guys are familiar, but college football is going to be played in South America for the first time in history. This has got to be an incredible matchup, right? For someone other than an ACC truther like me. Because NC State and Virginia, the college football powerhouses that be, are headed to Rio de Janeiro, and they are going to play in Nilton Santos Stadium. And the Brazil is going to be rocking. Lucas, tell them about it.
Oh, sure. Fireworks will be popping off. Everybody cares about the NC State Wolfpack in the Southern Hemisphere. Yeah, no question about it.
The college, go ahead, Robert.
By the way, Charlottesville and Raleigh are 3.5 hours apart.
Oh, God.
I don't know who's getting robbed. And by the way, NC State fans show up. I don't know if they're going to show up to Brazil. I don't know if most of them have passports.
Well, that's fair.
Virginia, yes, they have money, they have pomp and circumstance. They will have people there, and they have a good crowd as well. I don't know if NC State fans are allowed to leave the country or enter another country. They are like the North Carolina version of Vols fans to a much, 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 much lesser extent.
What do you mean by that? Again, pick a fight with Vols Twitter.
I think that they wear that badge proudly, that they will rabble-rouse people to no end. NC State fans are the exact same, just not to the same degree.
Nobody in Brazil cared about Eagles-Chargers or whoever the Chargers, Chiefs, Eagles, Packers. Nobody's going to care about this.
Yeah, but they're going to keep playing games over there.
No,
it's not going to stop. It's just going to become more.
What they will care about.
Not going to be anybody in that building.
What they will care about. Are you guys aware that NC State has 2 mascots?
No, I know the Wolfie. Is it Wolfie?
Well, Tuffy is the actual wolf that they have. Mr. and Mrs. Wolf are the mascots. So they have a male and female, Mr. and Mrs. Wolfie. And I think that they will be what wins over the Brazilian fans. You guys eat wolf down there, right?
Oh. See, Lucas is just bothered. Lucas is more bothered by the idea that people from the state of North Carolina are just going to denigrate Brazil as a result of this, treated as a third world country. The way that the Eagles players were saying it's not safe to go outside at night. Shut up.
Don't even get me started on that. Shut up. But you know where I stand on international games as a whole.
Jacob's saying we can't drink the water.
Yeah, get out of here.
Gang violence.
You can drink the water. You can walk on the street. You'll be fine. I'm not mad.
Lucas looking at the replies and being like, no one's happy about this. Oh, what the heck? And he reads it, and it's like, bring your own food. That was the one reply Lucas had an issue with. Oh, bring your own food.
I'll lose my mind.
I mean, carry-ons for dry rice and beans would not be that much. If you didn't want to trust Brazil's rice and beans and you wanted to bring your own,
you can trust the rice and beans. It's delicious. I've eaten it almost every day for my entire life.
We have found the root issue for Lucas, is that he does not want Brazil denigrated by people from the state of North Carolina.
I just hate the international broadcast.
North Carolina going to take Brazil by storm and then just completely poop all over it.
Doesn't serve anybody.
615-737-1045. What's the dumbest thing in sports this week? Oh, is this a first? Big Orange Mac. This is one of my favorite Twitter follows out there on the internet for a variety of different reasons, not just because it's Wednesday. We got Mac.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. My dumbest thing in sports, it goes out to the TSSAA. They changed the design of the state championship trophy. It went from this majestic, prestigious trophy to a that oozed tradition to a Mayo Bowl reject that they bought off Temu. That thing looks cheaper than Diego Pavia's mama's game day wardrobe, just cheap as hell. Gentlemen, y'all have a great day and go Big Orange.
Remember to stay on hold for the opportunity to win those Seinfeld tickets.
Do you have a picture of this?
He doesn't even want to say. He doesn't even want
the tickets.
He doesn't even want the Seinfeld tickets. Just want to sideswipe the championship trophy and Pavia's mother. Shameful. Jason is in Murfreesboro.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Well,
Hey, my dumbest thing in sports is taking out your QB, Shador Sanders, for a game-winning two-point conversion,
yeah.
all to have a failed reverse happen, and you lose to a team that basically is worse than you. Sorry, Titans fans. Go Cowboys. But a team that is worse than you, and you lose because you're dumb enough to take out your quarterback, who probably could have made the play or if just ran for the two-point conversion.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know what would have happened if Shador was in on the play, but the way that the play bore out, really, it was not a good look for Stefanski. Neither of those two-point tries. Let's go to Doug in Nashville.
Hey, guys. Well, I'm staying in the same game, but going back to when the Browns scored to cut it to 8, and then they go for 2 instead of just kicking the extra point and making it a 7-point game. And then they have to go for 2. So where's the logic in that?
Look at Titans fans feel a little chesty. They beat a 3-win Browns team. They're like, yeah, those guys suck. 2 submissions from the Browns game, both valid. Jordan is in Nashville next.
Hey, guys, to stay on the Browns bandwagon here, my dumbest thing in sports is Shannon Sharp, who advised Shador Sanders to skip remainder of the season. Oh, Bears, Bills, Steelers, Bengals. If I were Shador, I'd be like, no, I'm good. I've already shown you what I can do. Put Dylan Gabriel in there. Let's see what he can do. That would be great for job security as a 5th-round draft pick.
Thank you for the call. You see, Shannon Sharp has now taken the so there have been conspiracy theories that Shador has been being held down by Stefanski's unwillingness to put him in the lineup.
Right.
So Shannon Sharp went full 360 on it and said that the conspiracy theory is now that Stefanski is going to continue to play him because he wants him to fail, and that is going to...
Shut up.
Yeah, correct.
Shut up. Go on. I'm listening.
Correct. Because now Stefanski is just going to put him in disadvantageous situations like the 2-point play.
Ah, yes.
In fact, he didn't put him in. If he wanted him to fail, why wouldn't he have left him in there and given him a harder play call?
That's right.
These are the people that are leading. These are the people that are leading the conversation.
Well, no, Shannon Sharp's just loud and he's got a big following.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Robert means.
I wouldn't say leading the conversation.
Those two things feel like the same nowadays.
That is a point well taken, but I don't think anybody is looking to Shannon Sharp respectfully as leader of thought.
Well, I mean, Josina Anderson is the one leading this Shador conversation.
She's leading the conspiracy theories, not leading the conversation.
The conspiracy theory conversations.
Okay. Doug is in Nashville next. All right, very good, Doug.
Fantastic.
Well done by you.
We're doing it.
Dylan is in Nashville.
What's the deal with Doug?
What do you got,
guys? I think the dumbest thing in sports is the fact that the NFL still allows referees to determine the outcome of a game. Now, typically, I don't really say this lightly, like, they don't determine. But in the instance of the Ravens-Steelers game, which, big Titans fan, I don't like the Ratbirds. Sorry, Robert. But down 27-22, Lamar throws that pass to Isaiah Likely, took 3 steps, then dropped the ball. And the ref just completely took the game away from them. It's absolutely ridiculous. The fact that the NFL hasn't given coaches 1 green flag per half to challenge a play or to challenge a ref call it's stupid. At this point, the NFL's dumb. Stupidest thing in sports.
Thank you for the call.
I think he wins. We don't have to take any more. And the NFL admitted that they got the roughing the snapper call on the field goal. So Travis Jones rushes. They throw a flag that he roughed the long snapper.
Travis Jones plays for?
The Ravens.
Yes.
It extended the drive, gave them a first down, scored a touchdown on the next play. The NFL admitted to John Harbaugh that they got that call wrong. I don't know if they admitted about the Isaiah Likely one, but that would have been both of those game-swinging plays.
Yeah, it's like the 2-minute report in the NBA. Do you guys ever pay attention to those where they will go back after the fact and say, like in the final 2 minutes of the game, like it'll be an officiating review? And a lot of times they'll be like, yeah, we missed that call in this specific situation with 45 seconds left on the clock or something like that. Like they do. I don't know if they do it every game or if it's like with us, we have to request for our version of a pool reporter, somebody who's going to go ask the head of officiating on behalf of all of Titans media. Like was it the Chargers game last year where Elijah Molden and Jeff had that like strip sack touchdown that got called off the board? I want to say there was also a nonsense call against the Vikings last year too, if I remember. But I don't know if the NBA does it after every game. But it's just like, what is that going to make better? It doesn't help you. The game is decided. The calls were made. So to have the 2-minute review or the 2-minute report is going to make you feel better after the fact. Like, yeah, I knew that was wrong in real time. You got it wrong. What's going to happen to you? There's no accountability.
Yeah, it makes me feel worse. I think the biggest issue with it was they called it a touchdown on the field. And then upon review of seeing him put 3 feet down, no, that's not a touchdown. He needs to do a football move, as if extending the ball away from his body is not a football move. But I'm not upset.
Let's go. Bob will be the last submission. What do you got, Bob?
Well, this is probably one we could pick every week, but I'm going to choose. I waited for this one. Chris Collinsworth, at some point, he's just got to shut up because his quote at the end of the game the other night was, I know the clock says 0, but I've seen Patrick Mahomes do some incredible things. This game isn't over yet.
What? Wait,
yes.
Did he mean like their season?
The clock says 0-0 and the score was 20-10.
Oh, I need. Surely Awful Announcing has that out there somewhere.
Yeah, but we do need you.
Bob.
We need you to repeat the submission in a Seinfeld impression.
Oh, good.
It's okay.
Can I just say?
No, we're not going to make
that magic 8 ball. I'll do a putty quote and say, I confer the magic 8 ball, and it says, not likely.
That's good. All right.
Well done by Bob.
Should get the tickets.
All right. So just because he did what Lucas asked him.
He did. No, he didn't. He did quite the opposite.
He did. All right. So we've got 2 submissions for Kevin Stefanski, one for taking Shedeur out on the final 2-point play, the other for 2 2-point conversions that failed. You have the NFL admitting wrongdoing or admitting that officials made mistakes after the fact. And Jordan with the Shannon Sharp conspiracy. If Collinsworth did in fact say it like that, I haven't seen it. That would be the winner. If there is actually no time left on the clock, do we have any kind? Not that I don't trust Bob, but sometimes people see things or hear things that may not be completely what we thought they were. Is there any kind of confirmation of this Collinsworth screw up?
I am looking for it right now. There are articles that say NFL fans were worried about Chris Collinsworth on Sunday night.
But no specific reason why? Because I know Rodney Harrison had a moment.
Insufferable calls mount as NBC's Chris Collinsworth over biased Chiefs broadcasting. I don't know. I'll do some digging.
Okay, so we will do some digging and we will award a winner during the break, and we will come back and talk about the state of NFL bottom dwellers next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Okay, so the Titans won a game. They won a game against the Browns. It's only 2 wins on the season, but it's worth taking a look at some of these bottom feeders in the NFL and talking about the trajectory that all of them are on at this point in time. Titans are a bottom feeder, even though they played themselves out of the first pick into the third pick. It doesn't mean that they won't have the first pick. It doesn't mean that they won't have the third pick by the time this is all said and done, because we have, 2 more home games, 2 more road games, if I'm not mistaken. At San Fran, home for 2, and then on the road at Jacksonville to finish up the regular season. So, if you were looking at the state of the worst 4, let's just take it 4 because that's all I had room for in the poll. Did you put the poll out?
Again, let's not do this. Let's not play this game.
I'm just asking you because you didn't do it yesterday.
No, because it's your Twitter account. So if you didn't put the poll up, the poll's not up. We don't have to keep doing this.
Anyway, the options were for the worst 4 teams in the NFL right now. Whose trajectory do you feel the best about? The Titans, the Giants, the Browns, and the Raiders. Those teams would be at the top 4 of the draft order at this point in time. I believe the Giants now have the first overall pick after the Titans won. Giants, Raiders, Titans, Browns. In that situation, there's not a circumstance that went less according to plan than Vegas, right? Of all of these different teams, the hiring of Pete Carroll, bringing in Tom Brady to oversee this entire thing, paying Chip Kelly. I don't know if Chip Kelly was making the most amount of money that any offensive coordinator was making.
I think he was. Wasn't that the whole thing? He was the highest paid.
I know he was making a lot. I don't remember specifically if he was the highest paid offensive coordinator.
Wasn't he, Robert? Wasn't that the whole thing with Chip Kelly? He's the highest paid OC in the league?
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Everyone said that.
What's the deal with Chip Kelly?
What's the deal with the chip? Why not a cracker?
Oh. That's not
it takes you 2 hours to watch 60 Minutes, don't it? Why did it take that long
it
for
takes
you to
me
get
30. It takes me 30 because I DVR it.
He has to read every page of the book twice.
I watched an interesting 60 Minutes piece on some soccer player that I did not retain because I was
Lamine Yamal?
Yeah.
The youngster at Barcelona?
He's like 18. He has braces. He was asked if Spain is going to win the World Cup. He said yes.
Wonder kid.
It was the only word
he said C.
No, he said yes. He said yes. It was the only word in English that he said during the interview.
I don't believe you.
Well, we can go back and check the tape because it's on my DVR at home.
That kid was winning titles at 16 with the Spanish national team.
That's crazy.
It's insane.
Anyway, what you have at this point is the worst case scenario in Vegas, right? Like if you're picking out NFL worst case scenarios this year, it's probably Vegas first and then the Vikings because of what they did with their quarterback situation. And I know what did they shut out the Commanders by? It was like 31-0 or something this weekend. 24-0 is what
McCarthy was good.
And Jaden Daniels got hurt again. They had the quarterback back for like an hour, and then all of a sudden Marcus Mariota's back in the game. But Vegas, is there a scenario in which Pete Carroll is one and done? Maybe he doesn't get fired. Maybe they let Pete, walk out on his own terms. But like this weird stuff with his son about how it's essentially a nepotism story. And I can't remember the exact details on how the son is failing to live up to his responsibilities on the coaching staff. But there was some reporting by people in Las Vegas about that. Pete Carroll obviously hasn't had the intended effect. Geno Smith has fallen off a cliff, and their offensive line is terrible. Like Ashton Genty's just he's dead on arrival back there in the backfield. Tom Brady deserves more criticism too, because Brady has no experience doing this. People just assume because he's Tom Brady, he's going to be excellent at this, and kind of like his broadcasting career, right? Like I heard some Brady over the bye, and
he's been fine.
He's been good. He's been better. He's been better this year than he was last year. Shouldn't surprise anybody. It doesn't mean that Tom Brady in a leadership / ownership role with the Raiders can't get better. But I don't know that there's there's a fan base that feels worse about their current situation plus trajectory than the Raiders.
Yeah, they're both in a really tough spot, but there is more hope tied to Minnesota because there is a scenario where J.J. McCarthy can grow into himself as a quarterback. Again, like if we do this thing where if by year 2 they're not in full stride, then people are hitting the panic button. And I get why, because of these timelines with rookie contracts. But he also missed his entire rookie season. He's dealt with injuries for the majority of his second season in the NFL. And it's one good performance that J.J. McCarthy had against a Washington team that is banged up, that is out of the playoff. But that provides more hope, the idea that Kevin O'Connell can still manage to do something with J.J. McCarthy than whatever the Raiders' way out here is. And I suppose the way out for them could very well be drafting a quarterback at number 1 or 2 overall, wherever they land. But they definitely put the chips in this year thinking that they could microwave a competitive team, maybe not a contender, but a team that would at the very least push to go to the playoffs. But it hurts more for Vikings fans, I would say. It's a little more hurtful.
Because they have a team that's ready to go.
Yeah, and then you watch Sam Darnold go do what he's doing. Like, that's a harder pill to swallow, I would say, even though the Raiders might be in a worse long-term place, potentially.
Robert, do you hate Dave Dameshek because he's a Steelers fan?
Is that the Outkick guy?
No. Dameshek was on NFL Network for a long time. I think he's doing stuff for Meadowlark and Levitard now.
I don't even know who that is.
Okay. I'm surprised because he's he's a really big following. He's a football nerd. I think you would like his information if he wasn't such a diehard Steelers homer.
Say his name again?
Dave.
It doesn't matter what his name is. If he's a Steelers fan, I don't give a damn a check about him.
Okay.
Or a damn to check on him.
Very good. Thank you for your contribution.
I'll do it every day.
Useless as always. I thought that this was an interesting nugget, though, talking about the Vikings and their trajectory. Dameshek said, and he had done some research on this, that the window, if you go back and look at every Super Bowl champion in the last 30 years or something like that, in the modern salary cap free agency era, that the window, we talk about teams trying to win around rookie quarterback contracts. Dameshek found that the window is actually between years 2 and year 6 of a quarterback's contract where the window is most viable for a team to win with that specific quarterback situation, which makes a lot more sense than just applying all those sensibilities to the rookie quarterback deal. Because there's still some things that you can do to maneuver the cap hit of the quarterback once he gets the big contract to lessen the blow of that on the front end in the first couple of years. And then when he starts getting to, $60 million, I mean, are we going to have quarterbacks making $65, $70 million a year AAV here in the near future? I would assume so.
Pretty soon.
So,
like, years 2 and 6 is actually, between 2 and 6 is actually your window by, at least with historical precedent, to win a Super Bowl with that quarterback.
I still think it's an overrated thing, even though it makes sense that that is your best opportunity to have the best situation around a young burgeoning quarterback. But we've talked about, let's say, the last 10 Super Bowl champions. How many of them were on quarterbacks in that window? Not that many.
Between 2 and 6? Oh, no, for sure.
I mean, last year, Jalen Hurts. What year is Jalen Hurts in?
It can't be more than 6.
Well, he was drafted 2020. So, yeah, I guess he is in that window.
Mahomes, his first was 19.
Mahomes' his first was, yep. Rams with Stafford wasn't. Tampa Bay with Brady wasn't. New England certainly in 2019 with Brady wasn't. Philadelphia in 2018 with Nick Foles wasn't. When did Nick Foles get drafted?
Well, Brady didn't win it in 19. Mahomes won it in 19.
Well, I'm talking about the Super Bowl that was played on February 2019.
Okay, so that 19 Super Bowl was Rams? Patriots, Rams?
Yeah.
Okay. But golf, I mean, you're in the game.
Got there, for sure.
You're in the game.
But I just think it's assumed to be the only way to have success is to have a quarterback on a rookie deal. Obviously, that's conducive for success, but there's been too many teams recently to bring in highly paid veteran quarterbacks into really good situations to go on and win Super Bowls, to think that that's the only way to do it.
I don't think it's the only way, but like by percentage chance, right? You're just trying to maximize your percents on getting here. Because at the end of the day, it's an imperfect thing. And there's no, like we talked about with the draft on Monday, having the best possible draft pick does not guarantee that you're going to turn your franchise around. It can help you, certainly. It can give you margin for error, but it doesn't guarantee that you're going to be able to turn your franchise around. Giants and Titans, picking at the top of the draft last year, are arguably worse than they were a year ago. And there's context that's required around that. New England picking 4th is 11 wins. Where are the Titans? So we know that Vegas is kind of in the worst situation. Where are the Titans relative to the Browns and the Giants? New York, I think, is still a better job. If you have both openings and you're looking at what is already on the roster versus how much further you have to go. The division conversation is also interesting here because and this could change year over year, but all of a sudden the AFC South is formidable. I don't know what the Colts are going to look like in 2026. We don't know what their quarterback situation is going to look like in 2026. But the Texans and the Jags, I don't know, is Lawrence playing well enough to not get shopped this offseason? I would say so. In year one with Liam Cohen, that he can't improve moving forward?
You're saying he's playing well enough to not get shopped?
Like if the Steelers came calling about Trevor Lawrence the way that it was rumored that they were interested in doing, I think this was just last offseason, wasn't it? Or maybe two?
It was last year.
If the Steelers came calling around Trevor Lawrence, would the Jags say, yeah, we'll hear you out?
I wouldn't think so.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they feel like they're building something with Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence.
I would agree. So AFC South, is it appreciably worse than the NFC East right now? I'd say it's pretty competitive between those two. So if you're looking at the easier division to win, you still have Philadelphia to get through. And I don't know what Washington is going to do around Jaden Daniels moving forward, but they're obviously in a terrible injury season. You might even argue that the NFC East might be easier to win right now, especially if the Eagles are fraught. They seem to be on the decline. Maybe that'll look foolish here in a couple of weeks when we work our way through the playoffs, but I don't feel great about Philadelphia.
I mean, the NFC East is a 2-horse race. AFC South was a 3-horse race until Daniel Jones went down.
Yeah. And they still have 8 wins.
That's also a very recent development.
But I'm just saying generally, like when we look at if we're forecasting the AFC South and the NFC East, which has the more viable path to winning a division or getting a wild card? You might argue it's the NFC East right now. Because the 2-horse race, I'm assuming you're involving Washington in that over Dallas?
Yeah,
Dallas is still alive.
Who are the two best quarterbacks in the NFC East? Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts. Jaden Daniels this year is a big setback, and so much of it is injury-related.
He's just not on the field.
But two best quarterbacks in the AFC South, Trevor Lawrence and C.J. Stroud. I feel better about the two best quarterbacks in the NFC East than I do the two in the AFC South.
Sure. Browns and Titans. Titans have at least an answer at quarterback. Browns do not.
Browns might.
Yeah, and I suppose any theoretical coaching change might impact that. So maybe the Browns we just kind of leave up in the air until we know more about their situation. I mean, Shedeur could play himself into a starting job. I mean, he is the starter for the rest of the season, so I guess he's done it.
Do you think it is more likely that he is playing himself into a starting job in Cleveland, or he's more likely playing himself into a starting job elsewhere? A la like Josh Rosen, where the team that drafted him was very quick to move off of him, shipping him to Miami for a second-round pick. And not saying that would be Shedeur's path, but like of failing, but like playing to be a starter on another team.
Well, in this scenario, there's a couple, because I like that idea. Because if Shedeur plays well enough, and you say, no, definitively, we don't see you as a starter here in Cleveland, is Shedeur going to be okay with the idea of playing second fiddle or potentially even third fiddle again? I don't know. I don't know that he wouldn't. But it has potential to be messy, right? It's just going to create a whole media storm around Shedeur one way or the other. You could trade Shedeur and get better. I mean, Shedeur as a 5th-round draft pick, you could actually get better draft capital for him, right? If he continues to play at a reasonably...
More than you invested in him.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not the Brownlee trade where you got a 5th-round pick and all of a sudden you're giving him up for a 6th and a pick swap. You could turn Shedeur into more capital than you spent on him if you wanted to move him. It's interesting. We have not yet talked about the new Penn State hire, so we will get into that coming up next. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. So Penn State has a new coach, and we haven't really talked about it. Now, he's not new in the sense of you've not heard this name, because Matt Campbell has been in the space for a long, long time. Not just his decade at Iowa State, but he spent a couple years at Toledo as the head coach as well, coaching Brett Kern's Toledo Rockets, several bowl appearances with them, many bowl appearances with Iowa State. I don't know the history of Iowa State football. I would imagine he's one of the most successful coaches to have come through there, if for no other reason than longevity.
Oh, easily. Easily. Right up there with Johnny Majors. He's probably the winningest coach in Iowa State history, if I had to guess.
By win percentage at Iowa State alone, he was winning at a 567 clip. So 2 losing seasons, his first season at Iowa State, and then in 2022, they were 4-8. But other than that, they've been in bowl games ever since. This year they went 8-4. And Penn State went, what was the total time that eclipsed? 54 days between the firing of James Franklin and the hiring of Matt Campbell, in a way that I don't know if Penn State was lucky. I don't know if this was their plan the entire time. I would assume not, given the amount of people that turned them down or got raises out of potential interest from Penn State. Penn State got a lot of people paid this offseason in the world of college coaching. But how do we think that Matt Campbell is going to elevate Penn State? Because that's what they're looking for here. Is he a better coach than James Franklin? It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. How did you view the hiring?
I mean, you could not have drawn up a better landing spot for Matt Campbell, or for Penn State, rather.
Well, given
to stumble
how dire things looked, sure.
Yeah. Matt Campbell has at multiple points in the last decade been one of the 3 hottest names that pops up on every hot board if a Power 4 job opens up.
Not even that. NFL. He was talking about some NFL gigs a couple years ago.
For his offensive pedigree, for what he has done at Iowa State in terms of consistency. Multiple 9+ win seasons at Iowa State is not something that program had done. He had, 6? 8+ win seasons, multiple bowl appearances, 3 bowl wins, including the Fiesta Bowl back in 2020, the Pop-Tarts Bowl against Miami last year, the infamous Cam Ward only played first half game. This is about as good of a scenario. Like, somehow Penn State went through this entire carousel when everybody else was getting their guy, and there seems to be this internal strife at Penn State, and you seem like you're about to have fired James Franklin for an assistant on his coaching staff because you couldn't find anybody better. That was the interim coach, and to be fair, did a good job. Is very highly respected there, Terry Smith. And you end up landing a candidate that would have probably satisfied the Penn State fan base if you had hired him a month ago. So a great landing spot for Penn State, and Matt Campbell finally makes that leap. He was at Iowa State longer than anybody would have guessed he would be at Iowa State.
Well, he had turned down multiple opportunities. And again, it's very rare that you see a coach, especially because Iowa State, it can't be an easy place to recruit. I don't know what their financial situation looks like, but I can't imagine it's top of list in terms of NIL funding and things like that. A complete aside, did you hear what Troy Aikman said the other day about NIL?
No.
So, and he didn't mention the name of the recruit, but Troy Aikman said that UCLA came to him for money, essentially. Like, passing around the basket for the NIL fund and stuff like that. And Aikman said that he wrote a sizable check, he didn't disclose how much money, to UCLA. The kid was there for a year at UCLA, then transferred. And Aikman said he didn't even get so much as a thank you note from UCLA for his sizable contribution. So he said it turned him off so much that he will not be contributing to UCLA's NIL again.
Oof.
That's tough. Anyway, an aside.
I'm shocked at how well this turned out for Penn State. It was heading right down the path of a 2017 Tennessee type of coaching search. So much so that Jeff Brom is turning them down the way that he did Tennessee all those years ago when he was the head coach at Purdue. So great landing spot for Penn State, and Matt Campbell steps into a place where he's got the money. He's got, obviously, the fan backing, and we'll see how quickly they can hit the ground running this coming season.
It's crazy to think that Penn State is looking up at Indiana as far as job viability.
So I did some digging, and the internet thinks they know who the player was.
Oh, for Aikman?
Dante Moore.
Oh, the quarterback.
He left, went to Oregon.
Yep. Going to be a top 3 pick probably.
I'm sure many people are drawing that same conclusion, if not assumption. But Troy Aikman declined to say how much money and who the player was.
Well, according to On3, it was $1.25 million. But you don't have to say things, Troy. You just have to mention them. Did you guys see Matt Campbell's introductory press conference?
No.
Oh man,
is it good?
If you're following the signs, like there have been plenty of head coaches that demolished the introductory press conference. Dan Campbell with the knee biting, Nick Sirianni with "We're going to have a plan. We're going to have a plan."
So you mean demolished poorly? Because people pointed and laughed at both of those individuals.
Well, yeah, and people pointed and laughed at Adam Gase as well. But in recent memory, people that fail have been failing forward. This was how he finished his introductory press conference.
And I want to finish with this so I don't screw it up. I hear this is how we got to finish it. So we are
Penn State.
We are
Penn State.
We are
Penn State.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys.
And I want to finish with this.
You're welcome. Oh, my goodness.
You know what's worse? What's worse, that or so like that's really bad.
You're welcome in unison.
You can't see it, but he is pointing up.
At players?
So I assume there are people on the upper level.
Yeah, because media, obviously.
Yeah, there's no way media would ever respond with that. At least,
I don't know, man.
But so, you think Happy Valley's got a bunch of home
there's
cooks?
plenty of college football media. Oh, yeah. For
college,
sure,
there's
man.
probably more of that.
There's
but
student reporters in there, but.
So, like, Mike McCoy came into the press conference on Sunday afterwards, and he goes, "What do you think? That's how it's supposed to look all the time, right?" And literally none of us said anything. We just kind of sat there and waited for him to start talking, and then he kind of looks around and said, "Okay." Well, so the thing about the game is, and went on with this with his
It's like
game.
getting home to your wife and being like, "Honey, the boys and I we scored we had a great game of basketball. I got a triple-double."
Yeah, the group "You're Welcome," somebody points out, Lucas on YouTube says the group "You're Welcome" afterwards is insane.
Oh, it's so funny.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah. Like they felt like they had to respond. That's so
Do you
funny.
think somebody told them? Do you think they were cued?
Yes, 100%.
There's no way they did that just on a whim.
This was pre-planned. 100%.
Oh,
it made me
hate that.
That's so funny.
If you're looking at the signs,
you're right.
If you're looking at the signs,
you're right. I mean, Liam
But it's
Cohen.
not him. He's not the one that did the cringy thing. It's the "You're Welcome" thing that's cringy.
You're welcome.
I still think it was cringy.
No, to your point, Liam Cohen. We dragged him for the Duval thing.
Yeah, and then look at that.
I know.
Exactly.
Now they're a 9-win football team.
You.
You're welcome.
Ooh, I hate that. I hate it so much. All right, Rich is in Smyrna.
Hey, guys. Just a little tidbit. I heard an interview with the AD from Penn State after Campbell was hired, and they asked him if there was a reason that he didn't reach out to Campbell sooner. And he said, in all honesty, he said, "I don't want to drag this down." He said, "But when my admin gave me the telephone number for Matt Campbell, I called it, left a message, called back, left another message, and it wasn't until 30 or 40 days later that I found out I had left 2 messages on the wrong phone number, and he never knew I was trying to reach him."
Oh, no.
And that's why it took the length of time it did. Actually, Campbell was one of their top 2 choices, but they thought he wasn't interested because he didn't reply back right away.
Do you think that's real? Or do you think that's just something that somebody said after the fact? I appreciate the call, Rich. Thank you for it.
Rich said he said that in his press conference. Did he not?
Oh, I missed the part about it being in the press conference.
Yes, the reports and fan discussion about Penn State's athletic director, Pat Kraft, initially struggling to reach out to Matt Campbell because he had an incorrect or outdated contact, possibly an old agent or someone not currently affiliated with Campbell.
So he almost screwed it up.
That's like...
that would be like Faxgate.
Well, that was Elvis Doomerville, right? In the Broncos?
Yes, where they did not get his compensation in on time, so he became a free agent. The Ravens swooped in and stole him from Denver. That would be, what would this be? This would be text went Greengate. Like, he's not responding. I don't know what happened. He doesn't have a Verizon.
Oh, man.
It's like,
Wrong number gate.
Somebody doesn't quite have the same ring as Deflategate. We haven't had a gate in a while. What's been the latest gate?
Need a new gate.
Was it Diddygate? Epstein Gate?
Are those gates or are those just?
I mean, they are gates. We never saw what was on the other side of them.
Well, now we have
I don't
pictures
know
of the
if
mansion on the
anybody-
island, by the way.
Has anybody seen this 50 Cent documentary?
No, somebody was telling me that they watched it the other day because 50 Cent did a documentary on Diddy.
Yes. He paid to have this entire thing done. I have not gotten to see it yet, but I've heard.
That is a gangster move, man. I'm going to buy the rights to your story. I'm going to sell it to Netflix.
The best part of it is all the tweets that are like, I am not hating to my full potential. Like, I could be hating harder. Like, 50 Cent is an inspiration.
What'd you say F me for?
If you read one page of this book, Floyd, I will donate $1 million.
Speaking of hating harder, nobody is hating the Notre Dame athletic director harder than Brett Yormark of the Big 12. We'll tell you what's going on coming up next.
12:04, good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. It is official. Phillip Rivers is out of retirement as he signs with the Colts practice squad at 44 years old. Rivers has not played since his last season with the Colts, and that was in 2020. Titans head to San Francisco this weekend to face the 49ers. They will hit the practice field today. Cam Ward scheduled to meet with media at 1:45. The Nashville Predators won in a penalty shootout over the Avalanche on Tuesday after regulation was tied at 3. Preds have won 5 of 7. They host the Blues tomorrow. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So there has been no shortage of Notre Dame shade, and it's all been brought on because they've been sore losers. They've taken their ball and they've gone home because they didn't think that the conference that they're not a part of did a good enough job supporting them, and they are saying that they are the most powerful brand in all of college football and that they should be given special exceptions as a result. And I wish, as somebody who is not a diehard fan, but a fan enough that Pete Bavacqua, their athletic director, would just shut up because he continues to make that brand look worse and worse the more media appearances that he does or press conferences or teleconferences that he gives. And now his behavior, if you're unaware, he's been saying that he feels like the relationship between Notre Dame and the ACC, again, a conference that they are not a part of, has been irreparably damaged, that he doesn't think an apology will suffice, to which I would add parenthetically, what apology is Notre Dame owed? And that if you're going to be butthurt about getting the carpet or the rug pulled out from under you because of the Miami flip-flop that the committee did, I get it, but you should be more pissed at Virginia than anybody that they couldn't beat Duke. Because that's the whole reason Miami's in, and you're not. But now you've got other conference commissioners who rank theoretically above athletic directors calling out the behavior of Pete Bavacqua. Who has done more damage to themselves than Notre Dame in the last week as a college football program?
Well, and get this, there's more. Before we hear from Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark, there's a bookstore, I suppose, on campus.
In South Bend?
In South Bend?
Yeah.
Called Hams. You familiar with this?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Hammes?
I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, but
how
it's
do you
something
spell it
like
again?
Hammes.
That's Hams.
It's an acronym for something, though, isn't it? That's like not the name of the
No,
store.
it looks like it's the name. It's Hams or Hams, Notre Dame Bookstore.
I just remember CJ's being the bar.
Matt Fortuna, college football reporter, put this out there an hour ago that the bookstore has canceled a scheduled Friday signing of Ivan Masel's book, the ESPN. Does he still work for ESPN?
No, he's been gone for a while, but he's still covering college football.
He wrote a book about Frank Leahy, the great Frank Leahy, former Notre Dame player for Newt Rockne and coach, multiple championships.
Now, Mazel's a college football historian.
Oh, yeah. He wrote a book called American Coach, The Triumph and Tragedy of Notre Dame legend Frank Leahy, and he had a book signing scheduled Friday. He is a member of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. The bookstore has canceled the book signing of his book about a Notre Dame icon that was set for Friday.
That's being incredibly reported? That's not just message board?
There's a quote from Ivan, says, "I'm disappointed. I look forward to hearing people out and talking about my book."
I've got even worse news. This is how you say the Notre Dame bookstore name.
Team at the Hammes Notre Dame bookstore.
Hammes.
So it's like an Irish thing, like Seamus? Hammes?
No.
I guess, but...
What ties do they have to Ireland? Come on.
The leprechaun?
Self-appointed.
Adam Rittenberg and Heather Dinich are speaking out on this. Dennis Dodd, I mean, every college football.
Well, yeah, because once you slide a media member, all the media members are going to come out of the woodwork.
But still, this is insane. Like, the amount of respect that is being lost for Notre Dame as an institution, as an athletic department over this. Like, it's so funny to watch them be truly
petulant
and, like, just appalled that they could be the ones that get left out, right? Like, somebody was always going to get left out.
But it's never Notre Dame.
Right. And the hilarity is that Miami getting left out would have been far more egregious than the team they beat getting left out. And yet here's Notre Dame just clutching every pearl in South Bend, Indiana over this.
I mean, nationally.
It's pathetic.
But it's like, and there's some level of capitulation that I'm also confused by. Like, should we ask Golick Jr. to come on? Because he had Bavacqua on his podcast after the fact. And it's him and, are you two familiar with Jessica Smetana?
Yeah, from Le Batard Show.
She works in part with them, but I think she's doing her own independent thing with Golick at this point in time, as a podcast entity anyway. So she's a media member. She's a Notre Dame fan, and they are doing a Notre Dame podcast, and there doesn't, at least in the clips that I've seen produced, I haven't listened to the full podcast, so I don't want to be unnecessarily critical, but nobody's really pushing back on him. Like, even in that Dan Patrick interview, did you guys watch the whole interview or just the clips that came out?
Oh, just mostly the clips.
Yeah, even Dan Patrick didn't really push back on him in real time. And I don't know how you can have that person on whining and complaining the way that he is about something that makes total sense, even if the process was wrong, and not say, yeah, but Pete, you lost to Miami. You lost to Texas A&M. It's not a matter of when you lost to those teams. It's a 12-game sample size. I don't know. People tend to, it seems to me, make excuses for Notre Dame more than any other college football program in the country. And I'm not, I'm saying that as somebody who likes Notre Dame, who would like to see Notre Dame in the playoff, even if I understand that it wouldn't be necessarily the right thing to do.
You and I were talking about Notre Dame's ratings and this discussion off the air, and this assumption that Notre Dame is a big commodity because it is one of the biggest fan bases in the country, and it's the brand that it is, and it commands some of the biggest numbers in terms of TV ratings in the country. And I think that is not as
pronounced as they want it to be.
As they want it to be. And you disagreed with me.
I said if you looked at Notre Dame's biggest opponent, like if you took Notre Dame A&M or Notre Dame USC ranked games and put it up against the biggest games that Alabama played, that the numbers would probably be comparable.
I would disagree. I found this
but we don't know for sure.
Well, so sportsmediawatch.com takes every week of college football viewership. They take the Nielsen ratings, which they can't apply to ESPN, SEC, but cable ratings. And they applied it to week 8. Notre Dame played USC. Where do you think Notre Dame USC ranked in terms of viewership? Total viewers.
Like out of 120?
In week 8. Sure, about 20.
I'd say, what time was the game?
It was a primetime game. 7:30.
Who was on the call?
7:30 Eastern.
I'll say it was 5.
4th.
Okay.
Behind LSU Vanderbilt.
Interesting.
Certainly behind Tennessee Alabama. I mean, Tennessee Alabama dwarfed it. Ole Miss Georgia dwarfed it. So I just think, yes.
And those were 2:30 kicks?
Vandy?
Vandy was a night game.
No. Vandy was 11 a.m.
Oh, really?
Yes. I just think that gets so overblown where it's like, are that many people really watching every Notre Dame game on NBC? Or are there millions more people watching Alabama play Oklahoma or LSU play Vanderbilt?
So what's the gulf between the top and 4?
So in week 8, because we agree that would be one of the biggest pulls of Notre Dame's season, right? The USC game. Topped out 4.64 million viewers, Notre Dame USC. 5.94 for LSU Vandy. 8.01 Tennessee Bama. 9.79 million for Ole Miss Georgia.
And Tennessee Bama wasn't even that good of a game.
So I just think that gets so overblown, but they still carry that air.
Well, because though at least, and I don't know if this is true or not, but the commonality between the top three is what?
SEC.
SEC. And that is consumed in this part of the country at a far higher rate than anywhere else in the country. Like Notre Dame would have, theoretically, that national hold because the Northeast does not care about college football.
Mm-hmm. And what's the highest rated Notre Dame game of the season?
Ooh, would it be the A&M game?
It would be Notre Dame Miami.
Oh, okay.
That was second behind Texas Ohio State, 10.8 million. And then Notre Dame Texas A&M, which was at 6.2, still behind Florida LSU and Georgia Tennessee.
Yeah, so I guess the argument is Notre Dame is pulling those numbers from everywhere else in the country. The SEC is pulling it from a much more condensed space.
I guess my point is Notre Dame, your biggest game that wasn't against an opponent like A&M or Miami, pulled what it pulled. It was behind a Vanderbilt game.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you played Miami, when you played A&M, Miami, an ACC program, or A&M, an SEC program, you got your biggest numbers. So who's propping up who in these scenarios? Where I think Notre Dame likes to think it's the one propping up everybody else.
Yeah, but I mean, they've been told that their entire existence.
Yes, from their entire existence.
So, when the only child continues to have only child behavior after the fact and everybody's surprised by the only child throwing a tantrum, should you really be that surprised?
Should we hear from Brett Yormark?
I would love to hear from anybody but Pete Bavacqua.
The Big 12 commissioner, Brett Yormark.
I will say this.
Yes.
It's my fault. Go ahead.
No, I didn't know. You want to set it up?
No, I think we just hear him.
No, just Buck. Just tell us who we're listening to.
Brett Yormark.
And I'm a little outspoken about it. I don't like how Notre Dame's reacted to it.
So
okay, I think Pete's his behavior has been egregious. It's been egregious going after Jim Phillips when they saved Notre Dame during COVID. We all knew, and it was very transparent. Hunter was very transparent about it. The chair, that as Notre Dame and Miami got closer together, head-to-head would be a factor. Okay? BYU lost. They became closer together, head-to-head, and made a difference in that decision. So I think he is totally out of bounds in his approach, and if he was in the room, I'd tell him the same thing.
And maybe smack his face.
And how about this quote from Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner? His response is calling for CFP expansion. He says, if you're leaving teams out of the playoff, this was to Ross Dellinger, if you're leaving teams out of the playoff that could win a national championship, then you don't have the right number.
Ooh.
So his response is, Notre Dame should be in because they should expand the playoff.
Well, he's still trying to play diplomatic.
He is, absolutely.
He's being way more diplomatic than Bavacqua is.
Yeah, 100%. And it is an important relationship to the ACC, but I just hate the aura of it all is just,
I don't disagree with that statement as a whole, though. Like, if there's a team that could win the national championship, like, they probably should be in it.
But I think there's only 4 teams that can win the national championship. And I'm sure there's people smarter than me that could argue.
So Vanderbilt couldn't win? You don't think they could win the national championship?
I don't think Vandy can win a national championship. They couldn't beat Alabama or Texas.
Yeah, I don't think Vandy could win a national championship.
I don't think Notre Dame could win a national championship.
They're happening any given Saturday.
That's
Sunday.
not a thing in college football.
Oh, it totally is. Tennessee beat Alabama before?
Yeah, because they were better.
App State beat Michigan.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
But then Tennessee got waxed by South Carolina.
Well, that's because your guy died, right? Didn't he break his leg in half?
The thing that Tennessee fans leave out.
Lucas died on that day.
I died that day. The thing Tennessee fans leave out is that game was a blowout when Hendon Hooker was going down.
Yeah. I honestly think that if you are making an argument for any team other than Texas Tech, Georgia, Indiana, or Ohio State, there is not a real argument to be made. I'm not going to sit there and say that Miami can win a national championship. They've been slumping, frankly.
I'm intrigued by Ole Miss here. Let's see what Ole Miss is.
Well, Ole Miss is a wild card for a number of different
reasons. Did you say
reasons.
Bama? I also think Bama could catch fire.
You think Bama could win a national?
I do.
You disagree?
I just think it's funny.
Embrace debate.
Just think it's funny. What if we just had like a 5-week regular season? Like, we don't want to play more games. Okay,
but we just did seasons quarterly.
Yeah,
like we did seasons of football the way that we do seasons of like American Idol or The Voice, where you got the fall season, then you got the summer season or whatever, or I guess the spring season.
Yeah. See. Okay. Now we're talking. What if Power 4, or no? You make non-Power 4 conferences play their season first in the spring. Then I don't know which one you'd rather have if you had to play both. And then they would meet. The winner of both spring and fall season would play in the national championship. All of it seems so stupid. Unless it's a 3-week regular season, I'm down for that. Just play your big three rivals.
What was ECU's record after 3 weeks?
I think that we should count it as the back half of the season. You would play. We lost to BYU, we lost to NC State, and we lost to somebody else. So we should be in the playoff.
Okay, very good. 615-737-1045 is the number. You can chime in on that if you'd like. We can also touch on the Titans for the first time today, because I think that they have to go out to San Francisco this weekend and prove that last Sunday was not a fluke. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help guys who have experienced performance issues. It's not uncommon, especially as you get up there in age, your body starts to change, and you know that ED can wreck your confidence. It can impact your relationship, your mental health, and even your sense of identity. But the good news is there's real help. Since 2014, the Tennessee Men's Clinic has helped thousands of guys get back to feeling like themselves. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is urology-based and staffed with multiple licensed providers who specialize in men's sexual health. They use proven treatments tailored to your specific situation. No one size fits all. Whether you're dealing with mild or moderate ED, performance issues, or even conditions like Peyronie's disease, their medical team will work with you to create a plan that gets results, often with options most men didn't even know were out there. They have in-house labs, so you don't have to wait around. You can get your blood work results in minutes, not days. Too many guys rely on pills that don't work or come with nasty side effects. There are better treatment options. Sometimes it's a combination of those options that finally unlock the results that you've been missing. If you felt the sting of performance issues recently, call the Tennessee Men's Clinic today. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes a full medical consultation, blood work, and, if medically advised, a test dose right there in the office. 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090, or book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay, though.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams.
Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. It's lunchtime. Should be thinking about hot chicken. We're always thinking about hot chicken around here. But Hattie B's in particular will delight you. Any of their Middle Tennessee locations, if you're listening to us, because I know we got listeners everywhere, in Vegas, Birmingham. Didn't they just open up one in Huntsville, if I'm not mistaken? I believe I saw that the other day.
East Nashville. Got Hattie B's coming its way.
Coming soon. Not yet available
Not yet,
in
but
East
soon.
Nashville. But plenty of Middle Tennessee locations for you to be delighted by everything that they have. Or you can mobile order Hattie B's to you with the Hattie B's app. Your first order in the app, you get a free dessert. 615-737-1045 is the number. So we were just talking about Notre Dame and the petulant behavior of their athletic director. Marcus Freeman benefits none by distancing himself from his boss. Like, I don't think it's a good idea for Marcus Freeman to come out and say something at this point in time.
I haven't seen him.
Well, I think that's by design.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to present an aligned front here, but the more unhinged that Pete Bavacqua, the athletic director, gets, the less I would want to be associated, if I was Marcus Freeman, with pulling Ivan Mazel's book signing because he's on the college football playoff committee.
What if he bolts? What if he goes to the NFL?
Titans?
Marcus Freeman to the Titans?
Ravens fans are clamoring.
Oh, really? You want Marcus Freeman?
I don't necessarily want him, but that is probably the most optimistic pick of Ravens fans on Twitter, is they would love to steal Marcus Freeman.
I mean, that has been out there, right? That NFL teams kind of are just glancing over.
Freeman?
Yeah.
It's like Cignetti. Like, I don't think there's a real chance that Cignetti would be an NFL candidate, but I would want to talk to him if I was an NFL team. Just interview. Robert and I talked about this.
I'd want to talk to Cignetti in any setting.
Just in general.
Yeah.
I
want to know what he has for breakfast. What do you think he has for breakfast?
Looks like an overnight oats kind of guy.
Ooh, that would be tough. There is a lot of interest from the NFL and Marcus. NBC Sports putting out this story earlier today with Marcus Freeman generating potential NFL interest. Notre Dame AD wants to keep him. No bleep. The quote from Bavacqua, everyone has eyes on Marcus, as he was on with Adam Rittenberg of ESPN. College has eyes on Marcus. NFL has eyes on Marcus. I bet Hollywood has eyes on Marcus. Bavacqua is just having a terrible week of quotes.
Yeah, but he keeps doing it. He won't stop. He won't shut up. It's making me insane.
While we're talking about coaching candidates, did you see this from Jeremy Fowler, a little nugget?
Well, why don't we get to that right after we take this call specific to Notre Dame, and then we can get to some coaching nuggets. Arthur is up next.
Hello.
What's up?
So, my question is if Notre Dame would come out of being an independent and actually play in a conference, they wouldn't have that issue. And the second part of that question is who made the determination of not playing the bowl? Because it should have been up to the players, because they'll take it with them for a lifetime, where these coaches and ADs don't really give a crap. And that's money out of their pocket. So that's where I'm going to leave that at.
I don't even think it's a coach thing. Players seem to, almost to a man, other than like COVID, where guys were playing in bowls during COVID that didn't really make sense. I've never heard anything but good things about like the bowl week experience from guys who have played. I mean, we could ask Brett and Nate and Ben about this. I mean, hell, it might be worth asking. There's not too many things to ask the Titans locker room at this point. Like, did you play in a bowl? Did you enjoy the experience type of thing?
Used to be bowl games were the only place where you could like legally get stuff as a college athlete, like get free stuff, headphones and Xboxes.
What did Ben
and
say
shoes.
he got? He got like a Christmas tree ornament or something like that.
Ramon told me he got a PS2, things like that. Yeah.
That was my favorite time of year at ECU, because like they weren't getting paid back then. So athletes would come back and they would sell all their ECU like Bahamas Bowl gear or Sunset Gasparilla Bowl gear. They'd get like AirPods or whatever, and they'd be selling it to make some money because it's about to be the off season, and you can get some great deals on some bowl gifts.
So Jeremy Fowler put this out there. He collabed with Dan Graziano, just nuggets from across the league. He says about the Titans opening, the Matt Nagy Titans connection is one that comes up in league circles, with the belief that Tennessee GM Mike Borgonzi has a good relationship with Nagy from their Kansas City days. Nagy's Chicago tenure has aged well, going 34-31 with Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback. The Chiefs' struggles could affect Nagy's chances, but I expect him to be a candidate in Tennessee.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, there was going to be
nothing groundbreaking there.
Well, no, I mean, it's important to emphasize the relationship elements of that. Because, again, it's not really, those reports aren't for us. They're for people who may be paying attention to the Titans elsewhere, or like looking at other openings and being like, all right, what jobs am I competing with? Because I'm sure the vast majority of American football fans have no idea who the hell Mike Borgonzi is, right? So, but the relationship element is the important thing for Titans fans to keep in mind for this reason. Why is Borgonzi here? Because the Titans had the number 1 overall pick, and because he had 16 years of relationship with Chad Brinker. And he trusts Chad Brinker. Whatever Titans fans think of Chad Brinker, and I'm sure there's, to put it diplomatically, mixed reviews on this guy, that it matters to Borgonzi, and that made Mike comfortable enough in a job that most people would look at externally and say, yeah, I'm not good with that structure, to say, yeah, I can work with this person. I've known this person a long time. And also, you have the number 1 overall draft pick. That's going to give me the best chance at success. So relationships matter a great deal here. It's just a matter of, are you just going to try and import the Chiefs thing and try and make it your version of the new Titans? And how much is it's less important that Matt Nagy's the offensive coordinator in Kansas City, right, than it is that he is somebody who has head coaching experience. Because how important is the offensive coordinator? And I'm sure he assists Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to totally discount him. But he's not actually executing the calling of plays in Kansas City. He's what's better, him talking about tickling tonsils or nuggies?
Definitely the nuggets.
Yeah,
Nuggets.
it gets me
Nuggets
every
is
time,
good.
man. I could go for some nuggets.
The way I just heard your laughter through the soundproof glass back there.
That's how you should add things every time now. It's like, I could really go for some nuggets. Just
whispering sensually into the microphone.
The people that are wearing headphones listening to this on the podcast are like, I could really go for some nuggies.
I'm having a full conversation in the chat about fettuccine Alfredo.
Oh my God! Are you telling these people all you need is cream?
Yes.
You don't need all this other. I hear it.
You don't need cream.
I hear it every day, guys.
You don't need flour.
I hear it every single day. You make it how you want to make it. Lucas is not the architect of pasta.
I'm just trying to be helpful. People are asking me.
I don't believe he's just trying to be helpful.
Of course I'm trying to be helpful.
No one's asking you. It's
And
like
you've never been helpful in your life.
People are asking for my skincare routine, so here it is. Look, it's like people are asking me for my Alfredo recipe, so here it is. Stop it.
Butter, Parm, a little bit of pasta water. Loads of parm. Like tons of good Parmesan.
Oh, that sounds really easy.
It is easy.
You should make some for us tomorrow.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Do it then.
But gluten-free pasta, please.
No, come on. I'll make some shrimp we can throw into it, make it fancy.
So, on the front of the Titans' job and connections, it's going to matter here. Mike Borgon, like you have to, we agree, whoever takes this job has to be comfortable with the work, like completely comfortable with the working dynamic for this to be a success.
Sure.
Not like just to say it and then get in here and it's a mess. And all of a sudden you don't want to capitulate to whatever Nihil, Brinker, Borgonzi, whatever the pecking, I mean, I guess that is the org chart, Amy, Nihil, Brinker, Borgonzi currently. So you just have to be comfortable with being fifth in command, but trusting the people that are fourth and third in front of you, at very least, that they're going to give you the tools to properly succeed and that you're going to have a good enough, that your voice matters in those conversations as any experienced head coach would maybe not demand, but I think at least minimum require. The rest of this is the situation for the Titans this Sunday. Titans fans would prefer what on Sunday? I ask you because I am not one, so I go to you, resident Titans fans.
I still say wins. I still say wins.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, those voices are always going to be there. And there are some Titans fans that I think probably can look at it as a win-win, right? Hey, if you win, then Cam Ward shows something on the road and you see that progress that you like, great. If you don't, another step towards that draft pick. Titans are going to get a good draft pick no matter how this shakes out.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be, like, it would be literally the unthinkable for as many times as you two want to put it in the YouTube title. The idea that they would win out, right? That they would beat, down the line, a 9-win San Francisco team, a down bad Chiefs team. The Saints, it's feasible. That's a push. Saints probably going to be favored at Nissan. I guess that depends this weekend.
We'll see.
We'll see how the next couple of weeks play out.
What do you think the Niners spread is?
At San Francisco, I bet it's a touchdown and a half.
12.5. Yeah, it's bigger than I thought, too.
That's almost the largest spread of the NFL season, isn't it? Isn't it 13.5?
The Titans have had two 13.5-point spreads as the underdog, Colts and Seahawks. So it would almost match, and they have had the two highest points. Well, I think the Raiders had one that was close to that. But the Titans have definitely had two 13.5-point spreads where they're the underdog so far this season.
You're getting dragged for your hat.
What's wrong with the hat?
It's a tourist. You're just being alleged it's a tourist hat.
Oh, some guy on Instagram asked me if I wanted a hat.
615, the little cute little 6 with the 15 inside the 6.
You know how long it took me to figure out that that's what that was?
It does look like you popped into a store on Broadway. It was like, oh,
like what's the?
Look at me in Nashville.
I hate defending Buck, but why would a tourist give a crap about the area code? Wouldn't they want something that's like, I love Nashville,
Well,
like
that's
the
what the whole
I
thing
Heart
is.
New
Like
York,
Nash. Like isn't there just a brand that's just Nash? Yeah, I don't think tourists care about the area code.
Everybody knows 615 is the area code.
No.
Most famous area code in America, I would say.
I didn't say that. No one would say that.
Not a single person would say
What is
that.
the
619?
What is the most
619 because of Rey Mysterio is 100% the most famous.
I wouldn't have said that either.
Area code. Okay, so what is it then? 615-737-1045. What's the most famous area code?
God, I don't want to take calls on that. What would be? Because doesn't Nashville have like 629 now too?
Yep.
Which is
I think that's the
hotline number is 629. No, don't tell people the hotline number. We'll have people calling in on the hotline number. All right, last call for phone calls and some just delightful Phillip Rivers sound coming up next. There's not a lot in sports that makes me happier than Phillip Rivers. He's signed to the Colts practice squad. He's one of the most entertaining personalities I think that we've had in the last, I would argue, 20 years of NFL football. It's like where people think Tom Brady is interesting because he's great. Tom Brady's not that interesting, right? Like Tom Brady has accomplished many great things, but Tom Brady is a personality. It's whatever. Phillip Rivers is funny. Phillip Rivers is objectively hilarious. That somebody can get that creative without cussing in their trash talk and be that strident about it. He's one of my favorite sports irritants of all time. And he's back at 44 years old, at least on a practice squad, because the Colts are down tremendous. Now, whenever Robert gets off the phone, we will hear from Phillip Rivers here shortly. But, Lucas, you have been lost in Phillip Rivers' internet for basically the entire show this morning. What most delighted you? What clip are we going to play that most delighted you?
Oh, just the first one. Let's hear the first thing Phillip Rivers said upon stepping up to the podium after being signed to the Colts practice squad.
Well, hold on a second now. Was this the first thing he said?
Yeah.
Okay, cool deal.
I think so.
They've been very supportive. I think my younger children are most excited. I shouldn't say most excited. They're excited because they don't remember Dad playing. My 6-year-old actually asked me like 4 months ago, like, Dad, why don't you play anymore? And I'm like, hon, I'm sorry. Best you're going to get is me coaching on the sideline, because they were seeing, highlight or they're pulling up some, old games. My boys are fired up, obviously, but I think share the same sentiment. A little nervous, like, Dad, you think you can do it, And then my older girls are real excited because they're a little bit confused. They're like, shoot, I was 12. Some of them, now all of a sudden they're grown adults, married, and they remember 16 years old going to the ball game. So it's been a whirlwind of 48 hours, I'll say.
All right. So that is Phillip Rivers talking about his 75 children being confused that Dad is back and playing football.
Can we hear Phillip Rivers stepping up to the podium?
Oh, you mean the first thing that he said?
The actual first thing.
One second, please.
All right. No Zoom. Let's go.
Listen to that laughter.
That's a pity laugh if I've ever heard.
No,
one.
I think that's a genuine laugh. Everybody,
I didn't even hear what he said. What did he say?
He said, "Oh, no Zoom. Let's go."
No Zoom. Let's go.
Because the last time he played football,
we were still doing Zoom.
It was in
pressers.
the middle of COVID.
Do you know I never saw Jadeveon Clowney actually as a Titan? He's just on Zoom. Saw him at the games. Like we did home games that year, but it's just weird. Like to think of players that you would never associate with the team that you root for, that you cover on a regular basis. Like how many people remember that Phillip Rivers was a Colt?
I don't know.
He made a playoff.
Yeah, I feel like he had a decent enough season. He was the best of the retreads. They trotted out there until Daniel Jones. So, should Phillip Rivers be in serious contention to go into the Hall of Fame?
This year, no.
Well, if he plays, then this year is a moot point. It resets 5 years. I'm saying in general. Like to what he's done to this point.
He's not going to be up there statistically.
He's better than Warren Moon. He's better than Peter Schrager made this argument today that Phillip Rivers' numbers and wins are better than both Warren Moon and Dan Fouts. But I would argue they played in a completely different era.
Yeah.
He played in an era that was jam-packed with prolific quarterback talent.
Yeah, if you're going to put him in, then you almost have to put all of them in above him, right? Roethlisberger, Eli. Who else is considered peers? Rodgers would be in.
Rodgers would be in. Obviously, Tom and Peyton are already in. I just think that you can't put every quarterback who was good in an era.
It was such a good era.
Like, he was good, but he never won anything. His team was known for choking. Like, I understand the numbers when you put them up. 17-year career, 60,000 passing yards.
Yeah,
But
I don't
7th all-time leading passer in the NFL.
Yeah, but how soon is this generation, or like Matt Stafford's generation, going to pass him? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Stafford's in the Hall.
No, for sure,
yeah.
and the ring helps. But
especially if they win another one this year.
Where Phillip Rivers and that era, Roethlisberger, feels like they were kind of the turning point for when they were young, they were on run-heavy, defensive teams that were most responsible for their success. And then as those guys came into their own, we started seeing more pass-heavy teams in the league. Now, everything in the league is cyclical to some extent, right? You start playing lighter guys on defense to defend against the pass, people are just going to start running it on you. But I don't think in good conscience, if you take him alongside his peers, Breeze is eligible this year. Breeze deserves to go in before Rivers. I just don't think that you can put the fifth best guy in from his own generation just because he was also very good.
Okay. All right.
It's not the Hall of Very Good.
I in principle, I agree with both of you guys. I think there should be, it's okay for a quarterback to have an incredible career and still not get in. That's just how lofty the Pro Football Hall of Fame is.
It should be anyway.
Yeah. Now, what if he leads the Colts to the playoffs? At the age of 44 after not playing football for 5 years.
Does he lead the Colts to the playoffs, or does he Peyton Manning 15 his way?
He leads the Colts to the playoffs. He is aided, of course, on the way, and Sauce Gardner's healthy.
He'd be
Jonathan
the oldest
Taylor.
quarterback immediately to win a playoff game, right? He is now older than Brady was at the end.
If he goes to the playoffs and wins a playoff game with the Colts,
I need to double check.
Put him in the Hall of Fame.
No.
We would have never seen anything like that. A guy sitting for 5 years.
Who do they beat, hypothetically, in the playoffs? Because they would be playing a divisional winner. Because are you alleging that they would come back and win the AFC South?
What if he beats Rivers? Or
if
Rodgers?
he beats himself, then no. He's not going to the Hall of Fame.
Biggest opponent is himself.
Well, many athletes will tell you that. Rodgers.
If he beats the Steelers, no.
Oh, dude, if we want Rodgers versus Rivers so
he would be
bad in
he
the
would be older
playoffs.
than Tom Brady was if he won a postseason game.
He would need to beat he'd have to win. I don't know if there's ever a thing that would.
I think he would have to be in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, he would have to win a Super Bowl. I don't even care if he goes to the AFC Championship, man.
No, I'm kind of willing to give him a little bit of a curve there. It would be outrageous.
You said he'd be. How old was Brady when they won that Super Bowl?
44 years and 188 days. Phillip Rivers just turned 44 yesterday or 2 days ago.
So Phillip would not quite be the oldest quarterback to win a playoff game. He would still be behind Brady.
Did Brady win a playoff game after the Super Bowl, or did he host a playoff game?
Ooh,
because they were a wild card that Super Bowl.
I think
year.
I think they lost.
They
in the
lost
wild
to
card.
somebody. They lost to the Rams. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and because the Rams went on to win the Super Bowl.
That was the year they won it. 21.
Yes, yeah, that was the year so Brady was 40. They won in 2022. They won an NFC wild card game. The Bucs did.
Oh,
with
okay.
Brady.
So he would be older.
He was 44 years, 166 days.
Oh yeah. So the Rivers isn't going to top that.
All right.
Well, he will be. What's he going to be then? What's he going to be at the playoff? Because there's still 30 some odd days.
He literally just turned 44 yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well,
Or
yeah,
2
he's
days
not
ago,
going to the
2
Hall of
days
Fame.
ago.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
No, if he was the first of his kind, like ever, then I would give him a little bump.
If he wins a playoff game, you put him in.
No.
Put him in.
You can't,
He's been coaching his sons for 5 years.
Are we sure that this isn't like a Freaky Friday situation where like one of his sons is in his body? Because I am fascinated. He's going to start this weekend, right? Like there's no way that he doesn't.
Oh,
you don't bring him in and then sit him for a week. Yes. If you bring him in that quickly, like there's not going to be a ramp-up period. Because if they lose another game, they're probably out.
What do you mean a ramp-up period? They're going to have to stretch him for an hour and a half before he plays football so he doesn't die out there.
We could have an NFL playoffs feasibly with Phillip Rivers, Aaron Rodgers, and Matthew Stafford all playing in it. And Joe Flacco's still playing football. Like, what era is it? What year is it?
Well, did Ross is Ross back there, mouth breathing heavily somewhere into a casserole? He sent some tweet that clearly all three of us ignored into our group the other day about how your childhood is not dead yet with all of the players that are still playing.
Phillip Rivers is back. Patriots have 11 wins. Cowboys are average. Joe Flacco is slinging it. There's drama in Philly. Matthew Stafford's a stud. Seahawks defense is nasty. Aaron Rodgers is the 4 seed. Browns and Raiders are eliminated. Your childhood ain't over yet.
Yeah.
Sam Block of ESPN putting that's fantastic.
Is that the guy that does the awful tweets where he just says like the same sentence over and over and over again? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like if you pull up his Twitter timeline, it will be offensive to you, the kind of stuff that is on there. I would like to never cite that person again. Polls?
Phillip, if he wins a playoff game, you got to put him in.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Don't.
You got to put him in. Presented by Two Rivers Ford. If Phillip Rivers wins a playoff game as the quarterback of the Colts, should he be in the Hall of Fame? Wow, 100% of the audience voting yes. This is incredible.
Another person who all three of us respect, but whose name I will not disclose, texted me and said, who would you rather have as the quarterback on your team, Rivers or Eli? I would pick Rivers.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Well,
Do we call Eli?
Yeah, today. Just bring him back Chad Powers style. Let him go.
Who is your number one candidate for the Tennessee defensive coordinator job? Jimmy says Ryan Walters. Bill says Ryan Walters. Karen said most people are saying Ryan Walters. Philip says Will Muschamp, defensive analyst at Georgia. Adrian says Jim Knowles, the former Penn State coordinator, who would probably be the biggest name that you could go get.
Yeah, I mean, what did Sparks say? It's not about the convincing the fan base. It's about convincing Heupel.
Sure, and it would make sense for Heupel to have someone in mind if he makes this move as quickly as he did in firing Tim Banks right after the regular season ends. We'll see what the defense looks like against Illinois. William Inge, the linebackers coach, will be the interim DC.
Would that be the least attractive thing to Vols fans if they just promoted?
It would, 100%, because that's what Heupel's done at almost every turn. And this is one where it's like, no, man, like this is a big point. This is a big pivot point. You didn't fire Tim Banks to promote William Inge. You fired Tim Banks because it just felt like it's run its course, and there was a big drop-off last year. Go get somebody that will fix that in what is a pretty big offseason for Heupel in the next direction of this program.
Rapid fire.
Those are the polls.
Okay, very good. That's going to do it for us today. We appreciate your participation. He did not do the polls today is what he's not telling you.
No, don't. Why do you have to?
Because they can hear him.
Are you a narc?
My microphone is on, no.
I think so.
Well, speaking of that, we'll head to the locker room, see what happens with the Titans today. Cam Ward will speak. I'm sure that Blaine and Zach will carry it live. Did somebody tell me that Schefter's on Blaine and Zach today? Is that correct?
Why would?
Because I tease it. That's a big deal. We'll find out next.